Greetings and a heartfelt salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world. Movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good stuff. Joining us over here, I know he's happy because he gets to talk about Star Trek a little bit today, Mr. Robert Meyer-Burnett. Robert, how you doing?
John, I'm good. You know, I want to just mention, shout out to everybody that worked on Dota Dragon's Blood Season 3.
Debuted last night?
Book 3 actually is now live, so you can watch all 24 episodes in a row.
Oh, hell
if you
yeah.
show desire? Yeah,
If you show desire.
Yes, so that's very proud of the cast and crew and everybody that worked on that show. 3 years of my life I worked on that show.
And sitting next to Robert, rocking her Boston Celtic green, we got Chris Carr, who knows all about sports ball.
I know so much about sports ball. Man, I am doing some sporting-ish today. I'm going to do some kickboxing after this.
Oh,
I'm
good
very
for
excited.
you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very nice. Like that. Joining us also sitting over here, he's joining you guys in the live chat today. Of course, Ray Orr is here. Ray?
And where is this match going to take place, Chris? Just in case some people want
Where
to
can
watch.
I put some money on it?
No West. I'm
Live
going to be
streaming.
kicking ass.
Is this like in the same place Shang-Chi went? Is this like an
We're
underground
fighting
fight club?
exclusively on a bus, actually. It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
I want to be there for that. And of course, running the show today, producer Jonathan Voico is here. Jonathan, how you doing?
Pushing all the right buttons today, John.
It's a way of life. It's not just what you do at your job. It's a way of life. All right, guys. Oh, yeah, right.
Before you start.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I tried to watch I Am Groot last night.
Let me guess, there was only one episode.
No, I watched one episode. It was good. But then I found the other ones, but there's no order, right? That you're supposed to watch them in. Can I get this correctly?
You're looking at us?
Well,
Is there any particular
We all messed
order
this up
you're
My
yesterday.
guess would be, as somebody who only watched one episode, my guess would be the episode that he actually gets out of his, what do you call it?
pot?
Out of his pot.
That's episode 1.
I'm guessing that's where you
Groot's
start.
first
Oh my
step.
God! I completely started with a different episode.
I think the show's ruined for you now, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Now I think the show's completely
Yeah,
ruined.
yeah.
Didn't watch it
Okay.
in chronological order. You're
Just wanted to
screwed.
get that straight.
All right, guys. And we'll get straight to the point. We're so glad you're joining us here today. Glad that you are. And we got a whole bunch of things to talk about here today. And here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break it down into two parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you'd like to get a live comment or question read on the show for us to address, two things. Number one, you got to be watching live. Number two, when we get to the end of the main topics, we'll announce that we're opening up the super chats. That will be your cue to start firing in your thoughts, theories, opinions, questions, whatever, and we'll get to those in the second half of the show. Also, guys, a little bit of housekeeping. I want to remind you that if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube channel, no problem. There's an audio-only version of our show that we creatively call the John Campea Show podcast. Just go on your favorite podcasting app of choice, search for it, click subscribe, and that way the show will be there for you when you need it. All right, guys. With that down, let's start with an off the top here, and that is this. You know, one of my favorite guys in movies is actually Jason Momoa. I have loved him ever since Stargate Atlantis. I didn't even really like Stargate Atlantis all that much, but I just thought he was really fun in it. And of course, then, you know, he was, but where I really, really took notice of Jason Momoa was he was in a not fantastic movie. It was with Sylvester Stallone called Bullet to the Head.
Yep.
And he played the villain in that movie.
Directed by Walter Hill.
And that was the movie that I went, this is long before he was Aquaman, I said, this guy should be the new Batman. And I really felt that. I felt, you cut the hair, clean shave. He could, with his voice, he could be a great Bruce Wayne. I mean, just, he could be a fantastic Bruce Wayne, whatever. And clearly somebody was listening because eventually he became Aquaman. Not quite Batman, whatever. But he did another movie a while ago. 2011, I believe. He did Conan the Barbarian with Stephen Lang as the big bad guy in it. And it's not a great movie. Not a great movie. But I'll tell you what, I will stand by this. The first 10 to 15 minutes of that Conan movie were awesome. And I remember being in the theater. I was at the premiere of that movie, actually. And I was sitting in the theater. We were like 3 rows behind Momoa and watching this thing. Like 15 minutes in, I'm like, this is really great. It kind of went downhill after that. And now Jason Momoa was recently, being interviewed, and somebody brought up the thing about Conan. And Jason Momoa doesn't pull any punches. Jason Momoa said this. Listen to this. Jason Momoa, this is coming to us from the folks at IndieWire, said, Jason Momoa isn't holding back while barreling into the Conan the Barbarian criticism. Over a decade since the reboot of film premiered in 2011, Momoa admitted that the movie, quote unquote, really sucked during an interview with GQ. I've been a part of a lot of things that really sucked, and movies where it's out of your hands, Momoa dished. Conan the Barbarian was one of them. It's one of the best experiences I had, and it was taken over and turned into a big pile of shit. So, not pulling any punches. Now, look, I am generally of the mind that, listen, if you're in a movie and you got paid to be in a movie, it's your job to rep the movie. You know, like, even if you think it sucked, maybe you don't have to lie, but don't suck. I mean, don't come out and say it sucked, right? It's your job to promote this movie and to be behind the movie. But this is a movie that is now a decade old. This is a movie that is long. This is a movie now where he can say whatever he wants. It's not going to hurt the movie. So as far as I'm concerned, all of his contractual obligations have been satisfied. And for him to come out and say that, I think it's good because, like, often you've heard me, right? I certainly don't like directors bashing on directors or actors bashing on actors or bashing movies they have that are currently out or just coming out on home video because, like, listen, dude, they trusted you to be in this film. Be behind the film until it doesn't matter anymore. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. And I still don't think his Conan the Barbarian movie was the worst movie. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But it is interesting hearing him reflect back on that. Now, Rob, you hear his comments on this. What do you think about his comments, and what did you think about that Conan the Barbarian movie?
Well, like you, I was really disappointed. I love John Milius's Conan from '82. I love that movie. It's got great verisimilitude. It's got great casting. This Conan film I liked a lot. I mean, look at that. He looks the part, you know, and everything production wise, the film had a lot going for it, but it was way too it was weighed down by too much CG, not enough practical stuff in it. And it felt like a TV show. It didn't feel like it didn't have the epic gravitas that I was looking for. But, you know, the question that you ask, he's no longer selling the movie. And I think you're right. When an actor takes on the role, especially in a large studio tentpole, part of their job is to sell the film. That's part of what you are paid to do. But when you have history now, all of that gets washed away by history.
Yeah,
and you can finally come back and say, that was one of the reasons why I liked when I was doing DVD special features. I liked doing catalog titles with movies that had a history because you could see how they fit into cinema history and how they had been perceived by the public. So you could make a better special edition because you had better questions. You could ask the cast and the crew about the director, about how do you feel about this movie now? And I think that he was in an epic fantasy like Aquaman that was full of CG and all kinds of craziness. And that movie turned out wonderfully well.
Yes, it did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's absolutely in his right to go back and go, that movie sucked. I think people need to be able to do that. And I think that it's good for the business because then you look back and go, you know what, let's make it better. Because an actor then knows why it's not good. Mm-hmm. So they can become a better collaborator with you now.
Let me tell you, too, this is one of the most smooth guys in the world. We were at the premiere after party. Momoa's a tall guy, and he accidentally bumps into Anne. He bumps into Anne's back as he's walking, right? She turns around. Like, she wasn't angry. She just turned around to see what it was. And there's Jason Momoa looking down, and he puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, I'm so sorry. Then he moves on, and Anne is just like, because he's a good-looking dude. Next day, I'm doing the junket interview with Jason Momoa, and the video is still up online. You can probably go find this. And I brought Anne along with me. So she's in the room. I'm sitting down with Jason Momoa. We're just getting ready for the cameras to roll. So they roll cameras. And I go, Jason. My first line is Jason. And he looks at me and goes, John. And as soon as he says my name that way, you can audibly hear Anne in the background going, ah. So just a little something there. Anyway, Chris, you hear Jason Momoa's comments here. What do you think about it?
I love this. I love when actors go back and go, yeah, that was not my best. That was not great. I mean, look at how Ryan Reynolds has made a whole career out of being like, oh, remember that Green Lantern film? Woof. So I'm really happy to see this hindsight. Juliette Lewis actually did this interview in the Hollywood Reporter recently where she talks about how people who don't have regrets have to be narcissists. And I feel like if you see some work of yours that you can objectively say is not good, I think that's great. I think that shows that you're a humble person. I am wrapped up in you thinking that he should be Bruce Wayne. I mean, he's a great actor, but that golden retriever energy, my man, he's made for being Aquaman.
Hey, listen, there was no mistake.
Yeah.
No mistake that they
knew what
cast
they
him
were
as
doing
Aquaman
there.
at all. So I'm totally good with it. And you know what I love about his comments too? Was that, yes, the movie ship, but he said, it was one of my best experiences.
Yeah.
Well, I
Right.
said, like you say, I loved making this movie,
Well, and that's
which
the way
is
to
always
do
good
it.
to hear.
Exactly.
And I think that happens a lot because he talks about interference. You know, people stepped in and changed the movie, which I can't stand because you've got people that second guess what they've done, and it was Marcus Nispel who directed it, right? I don't remember, and I hate that. I hate when there's interference. We see a lot of that, and with these large movies that have a lot riding on them, I can understand, but second guessing these kinds of epic tentpole movies never goes well.
Well, for all we know, the movie was 5 times worse before they did. I mean,
Maybe.
we just don't know.
Yeah,
we just don't
true.
know.
That's true.
I mean, so
It
that
could
can
be
happen.
worse.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Did you see Jason Momoa's Conan movie? Not a ton of people did. Made like $67 million worldwide on a $90 million budget. Not a lot of you did, but if you did, what did you think of it? Do you think it's as bad as Jason is saying it is? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's now move into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics on the show? That's simple. You guys come up with our main topics. See, whenever you guys come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on The John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
This first one comes from Burke V. Hey, everyone. I just saw a report by IGN, original source by The Hollywood Reporter, saying that James Gunn has multiple projects moving forward at WB. What installations would you like to see based on the restructuring of the DCEU? Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
Thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And listen, I think the issue is actually even bigger than you think. Now, of course, let's cover a little bit of history here. James Gunn was very much a Marvel company man, right? He had made Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a huge surprise hit for a lot of people. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I don't think it was as good as the first one, but did quite well for them. Still very enjoyable film. And Kevin Feige worked out that Kevin Feige had decided that he was going to start, he kind of appointed James Gunn was going to be his kind of lead creative guy for the galactic area of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That he was going to not direct all of them, but he was going to kind of be the main consultant guy on what to do with the galactic element of it, right? Well, then, of course, all that came to a screeching halt when Alan Horn, I believe, was the one big mistake he made. And I was very, very critical of Alan Horn with this one mistake. When 10, 15-year-old, I can't remember how old the tweets were, some tweets with some really off-color jokes that James Gunn had made that he had earlier had said he completely regretted, all that kind of stuff, came to light. And within, I think, about 24 to 48 hours, they pulled the trigger and fired James Gunn on like decade-old tweets. Now, of course, once that happened, I think it was The Wrap that was reporting every single studio in Hollywood lined up at James Gunn's door, knocking on the door with bags of money in one hand and options of properties on the next, saying, come work with us. We'll give you whatever you want. Warner Brothers even came to James Gunn and said, you can do anything you want. I think there was one exception. It might have been, no, it wasn't Aquaman. Anyway, there was one exception that was kind of off the list, but they said, you want to do Superman? We'll let you do Superman. You can do whatever you want. And James Gunn ultimately decided to go with Warner Brothers, made a completely James Gunn selection and decided he wanted to do Suicide Squad, which I'm so glad he did. But then, of course, fences got mended with Disney. Horn and Gunn talked more. Apparently, they continued a long discussion over the course of months. And they said, you know what? James Gunn has come back. He's going to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And the world rejoiced. Yay. But it was too late. The roots had been planted at Warner Brothers. James Gunn had already started planning his future with Warner Brothers. And it wasn't just Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, there was a bunch of other high-profile projects coming as well. And with all the upheaval going on in Warner Brothers, you know, you could wonder about what's going on with James Gunn and Warner Brothers, especially with the fences mended at Disney. Now, his future, still kind of at Warner Brothers. This comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant who wrote the following. Shortly after Peacemaker aired, Gunn confirmed that he was very seriously working on more projects based on the DCEU. One of the various projects in development, Gunn recently revealed that one has gained significant momentum, and he had already begun working on the scripts. This had fans pleased until earlier this month. The newly formed company, Warner Brothers Discovery, spread chaos amongst the DC fan base by shelving nearly a completed Batgirl film. Gunn was quick to assure fans that the Peacemaker Season 2 remains safe in the wake of unprecedented cancellation, and now the fate of his other projects are also clear. Basically, confirmation came out that he has minimum 4 projects. Minimum, I was told, minimum 4 projects. Could be 5, could be 6, but minimum 4 projects. He has, one of those is probably Peacemaker Season 2, so maybe 3 additional ones. But 4 projects on the go at Warner Brothers. I don't think, now listen, I have not spoken to James Gunn about this or anybody official, so this is just my pure speculation. But a lot of people have wondered, is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 going to be the final Marvel entry from James Gunn? And while I certainly don't want it to be, I think it's becoming clear it is. I think Gunn's future lays over at Warner Brothers. Anyway, Chris, you look at this situation. We've seen it unfold. James Gunn saying, no, I'm good here. And all these projects apparently are still moving forward. Mm-hmm. What do you think the future of James Gunn? Is it Warner Brothers? Could it be going back to Disney? What do you think?
I feel like he's going to explore Warner Brothers a lot more because I think this is a playground that he really wants to just dive into, especially with how wicked and wild Peacemaker's gotten to be. Gets to be real heckin' violent. And if you go back to James's trauma roots, this is his style. This is what he loves to do. We had a movie with Starro. He wants to do some fun, gross, weird things. And I think there's a lot of potential here too, right? You could bring in Detective Chimp. You could do all kinds of weird stuff with him. I think it'd be really, really fun. I think we could see Manhunter show up maybe through Peacemaker. That's another fun character I think he could explore. I'm wondering if it's going to be a lot of offshoots from his Peacemaker world, or if it's going to be other just random DC characters. I feel like he's going to go get some like C-string folks and really elevate them.
There was some talk of a Waller series and stuff like that as well. So going a lot.
And then you could do Shadow Pact, which would be super fun.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Here's one of the really encouraging things to me, Rob. The old DC run Warner Brothers, or Warner Brothers run DC. Movie comes out and it flopped. And let's face it, there were a lot of extenuating circumstances, but the Suicide Squad movie did not do great. I mean, that's the nice way of putting it. Despite the fact that it was fantastic, didn't do great. The old Warner Brothers regime would have instantly looked at that and said, well, we got to cut bait. No King Shark, pun intended. But they would have said, we got to cut bait. That's what the old DC would have done when it was under the old Warner Brothers ownership, right? Mm-hmm. I love the fact that under the new leadership, they're like, no, he made a great movie. Okay, it didn't get the financial results that we wanted. All we can ask of our directors is to make a great movie. And that Suicide Squad movie was fantastic. And they're like, yeah, we want more of that. Well, yeah, but what about the fact that it didn't make all the money in the world? That's our problem. You leave that to us, our marketing, all that kind of stuff. That's our problem. You go make more of that. And that to me is very exciting. So with all that said, what does it look like to you where James Gunn's feet are going to be planted? Like, if Guardians of the Galaxy does great, could we see him do more Marvel films? Is he just going to wrap up shop at Marvel after Guardians is done? He's just permanently live at WB? How do you see it?
I think Chris pointed it out. I mean, James Gunn has an R-rated sensibility. Disney is not an R-rated company. They might figure out ways to utilize whether it's going to be on Hulu or whether it's going to be on like what they do, Stars or whatever in Europe and in Canada, how they might show. I mean, Deadpool will be on, but for the most part, Disney's not an R-rated company. James Gunn at Warner Brothers is unfettered, uncut James Gunn. He doesn't have to worry. You know, I mean, just look at his movies Slither and Super. Go back to Tromeo and Juliet or something like that. Or even a movie I worked on him with, The Specials, which is this low-budget superhero thing. He's a punk rocker. You know, that's what he wants. He wants to walk into a room, strap on a guitar, and play it really loud and get the audience to thrash around in the mosh pit. That's his sensibility. And Warner Brothers is open to that. He doesn't have to worry about ratings and making it family-friendly content. I mean, I'm sure I would love to see the R-rated version of Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, when Star-Lord, when he talks about painting the interior cockpit.
Groot got sap everywhere.
Or when it's a cocooning painting or whatever the hell he says in the movie. I'm like, all right, but he can't. So, and why not go to Warner Brothers, where not only does he have the entire DC pantheon to play with, but he can also make other movies that are not comic book related. Like, you know, he wrote a novel called The Toy Collector. I'd love to see him take a crack at that is a dark book, and I would love to see him take a crack at making that movie. I don't think he ever will, but he could.
Here's some trivia for you. Okay. Pop quiz. Where was James Gunn fired from?
Disney.
Who fired him?
Alan Horn.
Where's James Gunn now?
At Warner Brothers.
Where's Alan Horn now? So I can already see the conspiracy theorists going, this was part of Alan Horn's 5-year plan. No, that's what it was. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this whole thing? It looks like James Gunn's future at Warner Brothers is pretty solid and secure. What's your takeaway from that? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys, with that down, we're going to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of today's show, the people responsible for giving me the most comfortable and the best night's sleep I have ever had in my life, the good folks over at Helix. Guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, Helix Sleep. Guys, let me tell you, just a couple of days ago, Ann and I received our Helix mattress, and it is the best mattress we have ever slept on in our entire lives. We had like this $3,000 specialized mattress that we got like 5-6 years ago, and we liked it very much, but this one completely outdoes it. It's night and day. And you can get matched with your perfect mattress too. See, Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just like a minute to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way that you sleep. I hopped online, took the Helix quiz, and Anna and I were matched with the perfect mattress for us. And it is so easy to set up. Simply take it out of the box, get it positioned on your mattress, take off the plastic, and then give it an hour or two to breathe to reach its full size, and you will not believe how comfortable this thing is. All you got to do is go to helixsleep.com/Campea. Take their 60-second sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. And it's risk-free. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. Helix even has financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. And here's the best part. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Campea. And a big thank you to our folks at Helix for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This one comes from Box Office Fan. Disney Plus announced that it's wanting to catch up with Netflix's price by raising the price for North America over 38%. They then promoted its ad version for cheaper. This, needless to say, is not going well with people. As many have pointed out, most countries pay the same and have all the Hulu stuff as part of Disney Plus, adding over hundreds of more shows and movies than America has, making us one of the Disney Plus in the world with less content for the same price. Disney is adding an ad version to get more subs. Is raising the price the best choice to get more subs? Didn't work well at all for Netflix, who lost subs. What do you think?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yes, so there's a number of things to talk about with Disney Plus today. Some good things, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Some not good things. Listen, when they launched Disney Plus, and I remember I was there at D23 as they were pumping and promoting Disney Plus. I even had my Disney Plus hat they gave me, and we were talking about it. But the question was that, well, this is amazing. It's going to be $7. Woo, this is gonna be amazing. Wow, Disney ahead of the game. And I remember in that video I made from the hotel in Anaheim, I like, guys, don't think for a second that their long-term plan is to have this be $7. It's not.
No.
It's not going to be that way. So pretty soon they bumped it up to $8, $7.99, whatever, right? It's like, guys, don't believe for a second that this is where this price is going to live. This is the crack dealer on the corner saying, you want a free hit?
Yeah.
And then
you get a taste first.
Once you get hooked into it, it's like, oh, what are you going to do? Not watch the Marvel movies, right? So that was the plan all along. What is a little bit concerning here and weird is that, okay, they said they're going to introduce, like all the streamers are going to be doing. They're introducing, I mean, Peacock has it, HBO has it coming, Netflix has it coming. They're introducing an ad-supported tier, much like they already have on their Hulu plan, right? So it'll be a cheaper price for watching some ads. Great. So yesterday, the regular price of the ad-free Disney Plus was $7.99. Now today, we live in a world where there's an ad-supported tier for $7.99. You're not paying less. You're just going to now pay more to not have the ads. Anyway, this comes to us from the folks over at ABC News who wrote the following. Walt Disney Company said Wednesday it is raising prices for streaming subscribers in the... Is that Bob Chapek wearing a John Campea Show button?
That... Ray, you're perfect.
I did not review the graphics before they came in. Okay, sorry. Let me try that again. Okay. Walt Disney Company said Wednesday.
The picture of him is great, too.
I love the John Campea Show. Wednesday, that it is raising prices for the streaming subscribers in the U.S. who want to watch Disney Plus without ads, as more viewers switch to what CEO Bob Chapek described as the best value in streaming. The price increases are tied to a new tiered service Disney will launch in December for U.S. subscribers. The basic Disney Plus service today costs $7.99 per month. Starting in December, that basic service will run ads. So a subscriber who wants no ads will have to upgrade to a premium service that starts at $10.99. I am curious about it. What the hell do you mean starts at $10.99? So starts at $11 per month, a 37.5% rise over current prices. An annual plan will cost $110. So what does premium service starting at $10.99 mean? What the hell does that mean?
No
Now,
Hulu bundle?
There's two things I want to point out. Number one.
It means pray I don't change the term.
Yes, pray or do not alter it further. Number one is if you believe that 2 years from now that price is still going to be $10.99, you're adorable, because $10.99 is not the final destination of their price hikes.
No.
This is going to continuously go up for the next couple of years till it probably settles around where it's really going to kind of live, which is really around the $15, $16, $17 mark. That's where it's going to be eventually. But at $10.99, I still believe that is a very good value.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to, I get it. Nobody wants to hear prices are going up. Neither do I. None of us do. But the reality is, when you sit down and you go through, while it is nowhere near as exhaustive as Netflix's catalog, when you actually sit down and you start going through Disney Plus and you look at all the content, that the premium content that is there on Disney Plus, and then in a vacuum, someone tells you, you get this for $11 a month. That's easy. That's done. Sign me up. That is still a very, very good value. But again, and Jonathan, bring that quote back up again for a second.
Yes, please.
I do want to go back to this thing for a second. Premium service that starts at $10.99. Does that mean that there is going to be like, okay, for $7.99, you get Disney Plus with ads? And then the question becomes, how many ads? Because if it's like 2 ads, that's fine. If it's ads every 7 minutes, not so fine. But we'll find that out. But is it then like $10.99 for Disney Plus, and that gets you our Nat Geo content? That gets you our Marvel library up to 2019.
Mm-hmm.
That gets you our Star Wars library up to 2019. And that's that. Now, you want Disney Plus Premium Plus Plus, which is, will now let you have Pixar for $14 a month, and all Marvel content, and all Star Wars content. Then it's Disney Plus Max Cock, which for $19 a month, $19 a month, you will also get access to new. I mean, I just don't know
Get
What
that D,
does this-
baby.
what does this mean for
plus.
starting at?
D plus.
D plus.
Dropping the D plus.
You and Ann have a lot to talk about our plan tonight.
We're
What are
here.
we getting, John?
We're here to give you the D.
What are we getting, John? So what do you think we're getting on our plan? You and Ann have a lot to discuss.
I love how it's our plan. It's our plan. What do we get in our plan? Yeah, so I just didn't know. Okay, so the speculation abounds. Okay, bottom line, I'm a little perturbed as a consumer that what you were paying for, you're now not going to save any money by getting the ad supported thing.
Right.
You're just going to have to pay the same damn price. And hey, guess what? Now you get ads. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't mind the $10.99 price point though. The $10.99 price point for the ad free, I don't think that's bad. I think that's pretty damn good. Still, when you compare it to Netflix, where their basic price plan is $15, I think Warner Brothers, HBO is right around there, maybe even a little bit more. And I think those are totally well worth it as well. But I know, Rob, you're hearing about this. What are the things here that are standing out to you?
Well, one, it was inevitable that they were going to raise the price. But it is, and $3 to me, that's a lot of money, but it's not, as you pointed out, it's not awful. Like, it makes sense to me that they went up to $10.99 from $7.99. And didn't it start at like $5?
Like, or $6.
Six, it was cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, for Disney, for what we're getting, and look at it this way, you know, they're going to convert that extra money into more content anyway. If we're going to get more things like Light and Magic, and we're going to get like that Miss Marvel, those after shows, the assembled after shows, I am willing to pay the extra $3 a month. I don't care, like at the end of the day. But I do want to know, like in December, if D plus, if they're dropping the D plus and they're giving me, I don't want it to run around. I want to know
Dropping
exactly.
the D plus.
If they're dropping the D plus, I want to know that it's going to be good for me.
I mean, everybody wants to know that, Rob.
I want to make sure that
It's
my
gonna be
needs
good
are
for-
taken care of.
Yeah.
That I'm getting
all the D that you can handle.
Yeah, give me the D that I can handle, the D that I want, the D in the way I want it. You know what? If I want to be a power bottom for the D, give it to me.
Did you just say power bottom?
If I'm getting the D,
This isn't
What
even
did I say?
the Beyond crew.
Chris. What are things in this story that are standing out to you the most?
This was great.
I'll tell you what's standing out.
This was great yesterday. We're all tears this week.
I'm sorry. I'm 12 years old. I can't deal with this. Oh, all right. Well, I do the annual subscription, so I really don't think
He's
this is
waiting.
that messed up. Oh, this isn't even an aviation day. Oh my gosh. Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh boy, that JPEG picture is beautiful.
It's wonderful.
Wow.
It makes sense that they would increase the money. Like you were saying, that's how drug deals work. That's how this works. And I do the annual subscription, so I'm paying $109 a year now instead of, the $80 a year. I'm still
Right.
paying about $9 a month. And I'm a Disney shill. I don't care. I love Disney. I love them so much. I was intern for them. If I can watch Muppet content till I'm blue in the face, I want to do that. I freaking love the Muppets. So I will give them all of my money.
And by the way, I want to just for perspective, okay? Now, I am not a drinker, all right? But really, I'm not a drinker. But like, I go to bars with friends. I'm always the guy that gets Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi or whatever. But I see what they do. Like my buddy Tommy will order a drink, right?
Yeah.
And like the
couple.
$13. This costs you less than one premium
Right.
beer
Yeah.
on a night out. A month of access to all of Star Wars, all of Pixar, all of Marvel is going to cost you less than what you would pay for a premium beer if you go out one night. I mean, so to me, it's still pretty reasonable. Anyway, guys, question is for you.
Do you want that D?
How much D do you want? The question is, what level of D is good for you? Do you want the little D? Or
are you a
want
size
the big
queen?
D? Like, what?
I'm sorry.
This is a wholesome chat.
Just wait till our next time.
I'll
what
pay
do
the
you think-
entertainment you get for this. You don't have to pay
don't
anything
pay
for this
anything.
entertainment.
Yes. Do you want, what are we talking about? Yeah, ad supported for the same thing you were paying before? Do you want to pay a little bit extra? Where do you think it's going to stop? What does you think it means by starts at $10.99? Whatever you guys think, jump down in the comments section below and fuck it. Whatever.
If you don't know what a Z job is, you don't need to be asking.
With that down, I'm turning, my eyes are so watery. With
Chris,
that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our D-free topic number 3?
This comes from Adam K. Wilson. New Star Trek is awesome. Ducks to avoid bottle Rob is throwing at me. But seriously, why haven't I liked everything they've done with Star Trek?
I haven't liked.
A while I haven't liked everything they've done with Star Trek in this new era. I've absolutely loved some of it. I saw that Strange New Worlds, which is amazing, is the biggest debut season for any of the new Star Trek shows. What are your thoughts on that? And with Rob saying Picard Season 3 is great, are we looking at a wider resurgence of the franchise coming off the brilliant Strange New Worlds? What say you?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And listen, I'm somebody I like Discovery. I mean, it has its stronger stuff, it has its weaker stuff. I like Discovery. I really quite like Picard Season 1. Yeah, Picard Season 2's, it was whatever. I'm not big into their animated stuff, to be honest with you. Either they're Below Decks or what's the other one again?
Prodigy.
Thank you. Not really into those myself, but they got a lot of stuff. But man, one of the things that I really loved about recent Star Trek was the introduction of the Enterprise under, Rebecca Romaine, Anson Mount, with Pike and Spock. I really liked that crew a lot. So it wasn't a terribly big surprise when they announced they were getting their own spin-off show. And I was looking forward to it, a little dubious. I gotta tell you, the show is wonderful. It's really good. And oddly enough, the first person to tell me that the stuff on it so far was actually pretty good was Robert Meyer Burnett, oddly enough. Which is why maybe go, okay, well then I better damn watch it. And I agree. I think the show is completely fantastic. I think it's the best Star Trek stuff since Next Generation, in my opinion. It does have the highest Rotten Tomatoes rating of any Star Trek property. And it's really good. This comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant that wrote the following. Star Trek Strange New Worlds set the record as the most watched Star Trek series debut on the Paramount Plus streaming service in their history. The latest entry into the multi-generational science fiction franchise takes place 5 years before Captain James T. Kirk takes command of the USS Enterprise and follows Captain Christopher Pike, played by Anson Mount, and his crew as they embark on a 5-year mission to explore the vast reaches of the galaxy. Due to its episodic structure, stellar writing, and outstanding performances, Strange New Worlds has become the highest-rated Star Trek entry on Rotten Tomatoes, and again has set a record. Now, granted, all time, Paramount Plus hasn't been around all that long, so
Right.
let's keep that in perspective. But still, it does say something that when you have all these other shows that have debuted on the network, 5 others, I believe, that this has been the biggest one. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it's the quality of one. You raise a really, really good question, though, that I am curious about. Because like I said, I don't think Rob, no, I can tell you for sure, Rob doesn't like Strange New Worlds as much as I do, or as much as you do, apparently.
You'd be correct.
But he's actually the one that got me turned on to it. And you're right, Rob has been talking a lot about Picard Season 3. And with this Star Trek being the highest rated of all time, with somebody like Rob saying Picard Season 3 is baller, and I'll throw this over to you in a second here, is baller.
We should stop those analogies.
Yes. Are we at a point that we're seeing Star Trek turning a corner? Could we see that this is a place where maybe some of the more traditional Star Trek fans get back on board? A lot of the fans of the new stuff are not the older traditional fans of Star Trek, but could we be seeing like Rob, the Vulcans and the Romulans, could we be seeing reunification of the new Star Trek fans?
Look at
And the new
you.
Star Trek fans. Could we be seeing, I don't know, Robbie's asking the question, with all the results, with the responses we're seeing to Strange New Worlds, with what you're telling us is a really good Picard episode Season 3, what do you think are some of maybe the key factors you think in seeing that the two most recent, and most of us hasn't seen Picard Season 3 yet.
Yeah, well, no one
but
has.
the two most recent things as generating this kind of excitement, what do you see as those factors?
Well, I think the thing about Strange New Worlds is it has Anson Mount, who is
Fantastic.
The man has charisma to burn. If you took away all the rest of the cast and just made it a solo show about Anson Mount's adventures in space, on the Enterprise, I think people would watch it. And even the relationship he has with Spock is being done pretty well, and it's more traditional Star Trek. It's more familiar, so it's comfort food.
It is more episodic. Like all the other ones have been more serialized. This one is more episodic, like the original Star Trek.
And I would say for that reason, it's for me, it's been very hit and miss as far as writing. For me, it's always about the writing.
Right.
I mean, they had an episode. I know you like the Alien-esque episode, but to me, it was such a. They just transposed the plot of Alien and Aliens in a shameless way, even to the point of having Newt and that kind of thing. The reason that I think that something like Picard season 3 is so good is you have showrunner Terry Matalas, who's given free reign. He's not working with Alex Kurtzman or Akiva Goldsman. He was given free reign. He worked on Enterprise and Voyager with Brandon Braga. He also showran and co-created the 12 Monkeys TV series based on the film. So in a way, as far as Star Trek is concerned, he's a fan like Feige was and created other Star Trek, worked on Picard's season 2, but he was given free reign. He's had the background in Star Trek, and he's a classic Star Trek fan. He loves Next Generation. He worked on Voyager and Enterprise. So like Kevin Feige, he has a big background with Star Trek as opposed to, say, other showrunners. And I think what he did with Star Trek Picard season 3 is just a love letter to the Next Generation and to Deep Space Nine, to be honest. Shh, don't tell anyone I said that. But, and that's what I think we're going to get more people on Star Trek that love the franchise. And as we get more of those people in, there's almost 60 years of Star Trek. Star Trek debuted in 1966. We're 4 years away from the 60th anniversary of that franchise. And I think the more people, it's like when Russell T Davies comes back to Doctor Who this season. People were all excited because here was a guy that created the David Tennant era of Doctor Who, created Torchwood Children of Earth, which is 5 hours the greatest televised science fiction ever. And you've got people coming back to the franchise that really love Star Trek. And I think that's what it needs.
Chris, obviously setting records for Paramount Plus. There's a lot of positive momentum behind this new era of Star Trek right now. What do you see as being those defining factors?
I've got to be honest, I haven't watched any of the new Star Trek except for Picard. So I really enjoyed it. Season 2 kind of petered out for me.
Yeah, I agree. I thought season 1 was great, but I was not
really
big
fun.
on season 2.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously it's one of those things where when we see growth, we're going to see more exploration throughout this kind of IP, where I think we'll take more risks with some of the Star Trek material. Maybe we'll do some new shows, new spin-offs.
I would say that, what's really interesting is you've got people talking about the Orville. You talked about how the Orville has become more like Star Trek. I think the problem that I have with modern Star Trek is Star Trek was always allegorical. It would always deal with the problems of today, but in an allegorical sci-fi way. They've kind of moved away from that, and it's more on the nose as opposed to being allegorical. And I would like to see Star Trek get a little bit bolder in its storytelling and really, really delve into the world that we live in today and how is it going to be reflected in the stories that they're telling.
All right, guys, question is for you. Why do you think we're seeing this kind of turning of momentum thing in Star Trek? We've got a show that just finished its first season that is the highest rated Star Trek thing ever. We're getting big word coming from Robert Byron Burnett about Picard season 3. What do you see as the future of this stuff? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, before we get into our next topic here, we're going to thank another sponsor of today's show. I was using them this morning on my treadmill again, our good folks over at Raycon. We want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Raycon. Now, guys, you've heard me talk about the fact that part of my morning routine is getting on my treadmill. And when I do, I always have my Raycon earbuds there to listen to my podcasts and YouTube videos. I go to them every morning. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit, these earbuds are so comfortable and they will not budge. Trust me. Raycon gives you 8 hours of playtime and 32-hour battery life. And the best part for me is that Raycons are priced just right. You get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. That's half the price. And with premium features like noise isolation, awareness mode, and I personally love the earbud tap functions, it's perfect for when I'm on the treadmill. So guys, go to buyraycon.com/Campea today and get 15% off your Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/Campea to get 15% off. buyraycon.com/Campea. And a big thank you to the folks at Raycon for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Remember, guys, links to all of our sponsors today and the promo codes are down in the description of this video. And when you support our sponsors, you're actually supporting us. So thank you guys so much for doing that. All right, guys, with that all down, let's move into main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This comes from Eric Thomas. So news came out of Disney's earnings call yesterday that Disney's 3 streaming services, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, now have more subscribers in total than Netflix has. 221.1 million versus 220.6 million. Just barely, but that's still a considerably big deal, seeing that Netflix has topped the list of total subscribers ever since the streaming game started. As much as many, including you, are critical of the handling of streaming inside of the Disney empire, they seem to have the results to show for it, don't they?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Eric. And yeah, listen, it is true that when you combine all of Disney's streaming that they have now, and this isn't a small deal.
No.
They have passed Netflix now. It is important to note that Disney Plus itself still trails behind Netflix by almost 70 million subscribers. Like it's like 150 something million subscribers they have, as opposed to Netflix 220 million. But when you count, which they are all under the same roof, when you count Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu, when you put all those in there together, Hulu, of course, which has Prey out there right now, they have passed it. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety that wrote the following. They said this: Disney now counts 221.1 million total subscriptions. Remember, Disney, not Disney Plus. Total subscriptions worldwide across the streaming offerings, which comprises of Disney Plus Hotstar, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, pushing it just ahead of Netflix, which ended Q2 with 220.7 million. Now, one of the key figures here is that in the most recent quarter, whereas Netflix lost 1 million subscribers this last quarter, which wasn't as bad as the 2 million they thought they were going to lose.
Right.
But whereas they lost 1 million subscribers, Disney Plus proper added 14 million subscribers. Added 14 million subscribers. This is a culmination of a couple things, I think. Number one, Netflix had 70 plus million more subscribers than Disney Plus to lose. So there was that. Disney is still in its surging phase. Like Disney is still adding subscribers. Warner Brothers is still adding subscribers. Peacock and Paramount are still adding subscribers. So there's a little bit of that. But still, this number is significant because I have come to believe that the future is not that far away that Hulu, ESPN Plus are all going to be merged into Disney Plus. Much like the Hulu-ish service, Hotstar, for a lot of the international markets is already just bundled in with Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. You know, our previous viewer who wrote in a little bit earlier mentioned the fact that, hey, here we got to pay extra for Hulu. In other territories, you just get all the Hulu content through their Hotstar part that is incorporated right into it. I believe that day is coming. Now, that is also a little bit of a cheat number, okay? Because somebody like me, I am a subscriber to Disney Plus. I am also a subscriber to ESPN Plus because it's the only way I can watch my UFC. And I am a subscriber to Hulu. So I count as 3 subscriptions. So there's a little bit of a cheat there, right? There's a little bit of a cheat there because eventually when this all gets merged, and at some point it will, that means they're going to lose 2 subscribers right there because I will only count for 1. So granted, there's a little bit of a cheat, but still the point is that whereas Netflix is struggling a bit, other services like a Disney Plus is doing very well. 14 million added subscribers in the quarter when they were projecting a little over 10. So they even exceeded their expectations. They're missing their overall target numbers still, but it's doing quite well where others are having problems. Rob, you see this. What's your takeaway?
Well, also, Disney Plus is a lot younger than Netflix.
Yeah, they're the surging phase
I
right
mean,
now.
yeah, they haven't been around for very long. And I think, look, the thing about Disney as a brand, I think Disney they're going to have everything the studio's ever made. You have the entire legacy of Disney there. It's going to be something every family is going to get. Unlike, say, Netflix or something, when you have kids, or even if you're a kid at heart like we are, you're going to get this Disney service and make it part of a perennial thing that you have. I don't think it's going to be the streaming service that you get rid of. Some people will, but I think people just stick it. I mean, I know that, like, I wouldn't have watched That Darn Cat had I not had Disney Plus. And once you start going back and looking at their legacy content, it's just something that you're going to have. I like the service. I like the way it works. You know, I like the content they're making. The Light and Magic documentary was wonderful. And I think it's the kind of streaming service that is going to, it won't always surge because there's only so many households in the world, but I like what they're doing. And I like this whole, and like you just said, they're going to bundle all this stuff together. I wouldn't be surprised if Hulu doesn't exist in 5 years because Hulu's not international. You know, it's, and I like Hulu's content. I mean, look, even Prey was a huge hit for them, but that came from the previous Fox regime. Disney didn't develop it. But I think these are all great numbers. I like to see this kind of stability because it means that we're going to get great programming because these subscriptions are what drive their spend, their programming spend. So I'm optimistic. I think all this is great news, even though I might be paying $3 more a month. Worth it.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your takeaway from this?
I mean, I think this is fantastic. Disney stock was up this morning. That's really, really great to see too. And I think that we're going to see a lot of ebbing and flowing between all these numbers for the next few years. And that's excellent because competition breeds excellence. We're going to have all these different streaming services trying to top one another. And like Rob, I'm somebody who's going to probably stick it out with all these various different ones. I know we are going to see a drop soon. Disney Plus just lost a very big bidding war, apparently, according to Deadline, for live streaming rights to cricket. And most of their subscribers are based in India. So that'll make everyone take a plummet on that.
Huge subscription base in India.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we will see a drop from that. But for the most part, I think this speaks really well about what we've got in store for us for streaming.
One of the big advantages that Disney Plus has, is the fact that unlike other streamers, like say a Netflix, Disney Plus in and of itself is an attractive option. If all it was Disney saying, all of our content that we put in theaters, we then put onto Disney Plus. Even if that was it, take away all their original programming. Take away Light and Magic. Take away Ms. Marvel. Take away Boba Fett. Take that stuff away. Even if all Disney Plus was, hey guys, every time we put, first of all of our old catalog of all of our Disney classics, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel is there. But moving forward, every new Pixar movie that we put in theater will now be on that service. Every new Marvel film that comes out is going to be on that basis alone. It becomes a very attractive option.
Along with the IMAX 4K version.
Which
I find myself rewatching a lot of movies just for that section.
Yep. Especially
Thanks,
the Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you're welcome, Ray. So even just the fact that just the other day, you know what? Like I was driving in my car and DJ Snake's Run It came on, which is of course the music that plays during the bus fight scene in Shang-Chi. And just got me thinking about that scene. Just the fact that I just go home and just pop on Shang-Chi and just go right to that scene and watch. I mean, just that kind of flexibility makes it attractive in and of itself. Plus, they have all the original stuff they do. It's a really good model.
And as of this week, they moved the Orville over from Hulu to Disney
right.
Plus.
Well, they didn't move it.
Oh, they didn't move. Right.
They just also have it on
Yes.
Disney Plus, which might be another indicator that at some point Hulu is just going to merge right in with Disney Plus. It's interesting. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Well, Netflix has had some struggles. Other streamers like Disney Plus continue to add. Disney had a really good quarter for themselves. What do you make about this? What do you attribute it to? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 5, shall we? And our 5th main topic today is kind of an off the top. So it doesn't, we're not basing this on any of the viewer questions, but we just thought it was too big of a story to not put at the end here, and that is this. Ezra Miller, the gift that keeps on giving, always seems
Back
to be
in the
news.
news, so shocking.
What's going on? Okay, so one of the things that while the whole, and this thing's been going on for years now, like literally years, this whole thing's been going on. And one of the things that's been going on for years is the whole idea is, what is Warner Brothers doing behind the scenes? Now, of course, we've covered the fact that, yes, we understand they are not Ezra Miller's keeper. They are not responsible for Ezra Miller. They did not cause Ezra Miller's problems, but still, they have a business tie to them that could directly financially affect one of their properties. What's going on? And for the longest time, it was nothing. Well, the Hollywood Reporter is now saying that No, they've had some communication, and they are weighing three options, says the Hollywood Reporter. That when it comes to the Ezra Miller situation, they are weighing three options. And it's basically what we've been saying this whole time with one little bit of a surprise. We'll talk about what that surprise is for a second. Here's what the Hollywood Reporter is saying the three options are. A source with knowledge of the situation says that the studio appears to be preparing for three possible scenarios, okay? Scenario number one. Warner's has received indications that the 29-year-old Miller, whose mother has accompanied him and the actor in recent days. So I guess Ezra's mom's around him. I know when I'm going off the rails, nothing sets me more straight than when my mom's there. That helps. It's been accompanying the actor in recent days. Will seek professional help after returning home to their farm in Vermont after being away. If that help does happen, Miller, who goes by the they, them pronouns, would give an interview at some point explaining their erratic behavior over the past few years. The actor could then do limited press for The Flash, and the movie would open in cinemas as planned. Okay, I'll be honest with you. To me, this is the one option that's a bit of a surprise. I thought this one was right off the table. But apparently what Warner Brothers is saying is like, hey, okay, got your mom around you now? Great. Getting professional help? If they do get professional help, great. Now, if that happens, and you're willing then to do an interview, to talk, lay it all out, just come clean, just lay it all out, talk about your erratic behavior, start maybe the mending process of the reputation you have destroyed and have hurt us along with it. By us, I mean Warner Brothers. I don't mean us, the fans. Hurt us along with it. Okay, we could be amenable. I mean, you'll never be Flash again, but we could be amenable to you participating in some of the promotion for the film, maybe even doing a premiere, and y'all get to go to the premiere. Like, maybe. That, to me, this is the one option that I'm surprised to hear, because I thought this one was off the table. All right. The next two ones are ones that we've pretty much been saying. The Hollywood Reporter goes on to say the following. The second scenario, even if Miller doesn't reach out for help, Warner's could still release the film, but don't expect Miller to play any role in terms of marketing and publicity, nor would Miller be the Flash going forward, as the role would be recast in future projects. All right, this is what we've been saying is going to happen, right? I've been saying for a while now, you're not going to see Ezra on the press tour. They might even do a premiere, because you can't just not have Ezra there, because that becomes too glaring in their absence, right? It's just best not to have a premiere. So that's what we think is pretty much the most likely scenario of what will happen. Not definite, but I think the most likely scenario that we've been saying is that the movie just gets released. They're not going to have Ezra be any part of the marketing one way or the other, and they probably won't even do a premiere. So that's kind of what I think the most likely one is. So that's what they say is scenario number two. Then comes the third scenario, says the Hollywood Reporter, that Warner Brothers is considering. The third case, things go from bad to worse, with the situation with Miller deteriorating even further. This would see Warner Brothers killing the movie outright, as it could not reshoot with a different actor. Miller plays multiple characters and is in almost every scene in the movie. Scrapping a $200 million film, of course, would be an unprecedented move. So one of the other things we've been saying here is that, look, hell or high water, they're putting this movie out unless things get even more wacky or unstable or untenable. Like we said jokingly, like if news comes out next week that Miller kills somebody or whatever. I mean, obviously that changes the situation. I don't think taking a couple of bottles of wine from somebody's house is works towards that. But I mean, if 3 more stories come out between now and like January, February, each one progressively worse from the stuff that's already happened, obviously then that changes the scenario. But we've been saying that for a while, Rob. We've been saying, they're going to release this movie. That is clearly what they're doing. And the only way that changes is if, as Hollywood Reporter is saying, the situation gets even worse and like 3 or 4 more things, which, hey, listen, could very well happen. I don't know. Rob, you're seeing these 3 scenarios they're laying out. Option number 1 is the most optimistic. Option number 2 is the most realistic. Option number 3, the most pessimistic. Are these the 3 options Warner Brothers should be weighing, and which one do you think ultimately would be the one that works out?
I think these are the 3 options that Ezra Miller himself should be weighing, because this is his life, and for all the craziness that's happening, what I don't understand is the dude how many people in Hollywood, whether you're a director, whether you're an actor, have dreamt of being in a $200 million movie as the star? And he's worked his way up. He's had a career over a decade-long career, you know, and they have really worked their ass off to be in the place where they are. I mean, whether it was Perks of Being a Wallflower, whether it was We Have to Talk About Kevin.
Oh, that was so good.
They've worked really hard.
Yeah.
Why torpedo a career like this? I don't understand. Like, how do anybody would want to be in this place that they are in right now? And I really like Ezra Miller as a performer, and I like him as the Flash. Hell, I have a hot toy of Ezra Miller that I'm going to bring in here, and they are going to sit right where Wolverine is now. And I'm going to do it proudly.
Well, listen, I'll tell you right now, like with all the nonsense of the way Miller's behaved, I still think Miller's a good Flash.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. That doesn't mean I believe that Miller should still be allowed to be Flash after this movie's done. I don't. But I mean, I really like, I don't care. I don't care who knows it. I think he's been really good as the Flash.
Well, and I just keep thinking about everybody that's still working on the film.
Yeah.
You know,
especially Muschietti.
I do. I know. I mean, he's got to make sure that movie's great, no matter what's going on. He has to assume that, yes, we are going to release this movie. He has to be in post every day, approving effect shots, being in editorial. I mean, and him and his wife produces with him.
So let me put this to you again. What do you think is going to be the most likely outcome here? Out of those three scenarios that it looks like Warner Brothers is considering, what do you think is the most likely outcome?
I think they're going to release the film, and I think that they are going to get the help that they need. Ezra Miller is going to get the help.
Really? So you think the more optimistic one, the number one, that maybe even Ezra Miller does do press for it?
Well, you know, you said something. I saw pictures of them with their mother.
Their mom.
And it was great because there's pictures of Ezra was just on his phone and his mom was sitting there. Then you could see his mom standing up and like was looking at whoever was, it was like paparazzi photos. And she was like standing there defiant. You know, don't take pictures of us.
Don't mess with a mom.
Yeah. And
don't mess with a mom.
I think they're going to get straightened out by mom.
All right, Chris, you see three options that the Hollywood Reporter is saying that Warner Brothers of a movie that probably doesn't exist. Theoretically, this theoretical movie. What do you think of these three? Which of these three options do you think is going to be the one that ultimately happens?
Option 3, the Chris Carr called it option. I truly, I hope Ezra gets all the help that they need. And I'm so glad their mom is stepping in and there. Because like you guys were saying, a mom can get you right. And I really hope they get all the help they need. I do not see Ezra doing any press whatsoever for this film, should it come out.
I can't see it
I don't see that happening at all. Do we love a comeback story? Absolutely,
we love it.
we
We
do.
love it, yeah.
We love when somebody perseveres, gets the help they need, comes back strong, and apologizes and also changes their behavior. That's the big key here is you can't just apologize for that behavior. You have to actually make a change as part of your atonement. So if we continue to see these kinds of outbursts and stealing liquor from people's homes, are you 12?
That's just baffling.
What is happening? So all of that behavior needs to be changed, and they definitely need help. I don't see them ever being the Flash ever again.
No.
We've talked about this tremendously. There's a reason why we don't see the Flash, their face, in the Shazam ad. You know, we see Batfleck and we don't see Ezra.
We see Jason, but we don't see Ezra.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we know that these are people who are going to continue having a relationship with DC. I don't see Ezra having that. I truly think if this behavior continues to escalate, this movie's not going to happen because it's just so tainted right now. I think I will give all of you that it probably will get released. It probably will if there's actual footage
So
and
you're
they put
saying
it
it's
together. If they filmed it and they finished it, I think they would follow through on it. I don't think this movie's done.
By the way, I again, to reiterate, I agree with you that but I've been saying this for a while, if more stuff keeps coming out and the
It's not gonna
situation gets
happen.
worse, then Warner Brothers will be in a position, like right now, I believe you can just release this film, get it over with, make whatever money you're going to make on it, reduce your losses as much as you can, and then move on. But I've said for a while, if Ezra Miller's behavior continues and it keeps escalating,
it does not reflect the
Then
brand
they
in
gotta
the
pull
way
the
they
plug on
want
it.
to have the brand right
I
now.
agree.
And also, I really think it's being pivoted so it's not so much a Flash movie. So I wouldn't even call it a Flash movie.
I still think
happens to be a
Batman
DC
Flashpoint
film.
is on the table.
Exactly.
And also, it's 10 months away from release.
Yep.
A lot can happen in 10 months. That's a lot of news cycles.
Woo.
By then, who's going to remember any of this?
Me.
Will.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The three options that Warner Brothers seems to be weighing in on right now. And do you think maybe there should be a fourth or a fifth, whatever? Which of those three options, not do you think they should do? Which one of these three options do you actually believe will be the one that ultimately wins out? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys, with all that down, we're now going to open up the super chats because it's time for us to hear from you. What are your thoughts, theories, opinions, or questions about any or all the stuff that we talked about here today or others? Go ahead and start firing those now. Just be aware that we only leave the super chats open for a couple of minutes and then we close them down. So try to get those in there as quickly as you can. Now, before we get on to those live questions, though, we're going to hear from another one of the sponsors. Ann and I love these folks, the folks at HelloFresh. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh's quick and easy recipes, 20-minute meals, and low-prep, low-cleanup options provide an even faster route to putting food on the table around your packed schedule. You need another reason to stay in for dinner? HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant and is even cheaper than grocery shopping. That's money back in your pocket. Guys, Ann and I love HelloFresh. You know, we're both working professionals, so in the end of the day comes along, we're both so tired and frazzled and trying to figure out what to do for dinner. Most of the time, we just end up running out for dinner, which is expensive. But when we've got HelloFresh, it gives us a fun activity to do together, making quick, delicious meals and easy to clean up. We love it. So go to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the code Campea16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/Campea16 using the promo code Campea16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. And thank you to our friends at HelloFresh for making such damn good product and for being a sponsor of this episode. Okay, guys, it's now time. Let's get over and hear from you guys. We're going to start off with our beloved channel members. By the way, quick announcement to our channel members. We have a town hall, a channel member town hall for our director and producer level channel members today at 3 p.m. Los Angeles time. Got some big announcements and we're going to reveal some things to you guys first. So again, that will be at 3 p.m. Los Angeles time today. If you are a director or producer level channel member, make sure you guys come and join us for that. All right, Ray, what are our channel members saying?
We got one from Planted Goldies. They say, the new Prey movie is amazing and no spoilers, but a little nitpick. Does the Predator not know his own tech? Why shoot at the end? I liked it, but WTF.
Fuck. I mean, that shouldn't have been in there at all. We should.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's move on. Sorry,
Okay.
we can't answer that.
I'm sorry about that. Zachary P. writes, love the show. How does this affect the Hulu Live bundle? I'm paying $70 a month for H Live, D+, and ESPN+. I didn't see anything about that package.
Yeah, so here's the interesting thing about Hulu. Hulu has its own YouTube TV /Sling/ whatever. They have their own stream cable television on their service. And you know what? That's a really good question. I don't know how that factors into it.
So wait, Hulu's streaming like, let's say ABC, like ABC
Yeah, it's
Live
like
and
YouTube
stuff?
TV.
Like
It's
regular TV?
Yep, they've got their own thing. It's I think, I can't remember what this actually called, but it's like Hulu live stream or something like that.
I didn't even know about this.
So yeah,
live
I
package.
used it for a little while, a couple years ago. Like I went through all the different television streaming
YouTube
services,
TV.
like Sling, Hulu, and ultimately I landed on YouTube TV, which
Right.
I really do like the way it works. But that is a very good question about where will the live streaming service work into that. I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep my eye open to that. It's an excellent question, man. All right, what's
Okay.
next?
Jesse Price writes, James Gunn, Lobo movie, maybe?
I mean, ex-director doing X movie. Yeah, James Gunn would make a great Lobo movie, but James Gunn, any movie you attach him to could be really great. And I'm sure a lot, but yeah, if they announced tomorrow that James Gunn was doing Lobo, I'd be down for it.
Me too.
And by the
Okay.
way, Jason Momoa would make a great
Yeah,
Lobo,
he
but it
would.
would be late.
Great Lobo.
He's already Aquaman, so it's a little too late. All right, what's next?
All right,
Lobo.
last one from Jacob Brown. He writes, just wanted to say thank you so much for all that you do. Watch your show live as I work from home. Makes the rest of my day go faster and with a smile too. Rob, Physical Media for Life, 1,500 plus Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Can you touch that, Rob? 1,500 plus?
Yeah, I can touch that.
Okay.
You want me to touch that?
Yeah.
Where's the 4Ks though, buddy? Come
That's taking up a lot of real estate in your house, man.
It's in the garage.
But
It's in the Rob Observatory.
But thank you so much for being along, and thank you for letting us being a part of your day, man. We appreciate that. All right, let's get over to the super chats. What do we got in there, Chris?
All right, we are starting with some support. Rewind the Times and 8 Chaps. Thank you guys. for
Thank you
sending
guys
that in.
very much.
Awesome. All right, from Ryan Lawner. With Hollywood now getting into giving second chances to great books that had bad adaptations, one I'd love to see is Bonfire of the Vanities.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. I worked on that movie.
Did you?
Yeah, I was working at Warner Brothers when that movie was getting made, and we were feature production. One of my bosses was actually sent to New York. Was banished to
wow.
New York to work on the film. But I love that book, and I would love to see them remake that.
I could
think they
totally see that one
Mm-hmm.
being revisited because it's still got the brand recognizable IP.
Yeah,
I could see them doing that.
it was just that movie's not horrible either. Although it kind of
I don't
is.
think it was,
It's not
I honestly
great.
don't think it's
It's
all
not
that bad.
great.
I honestly don't think it's all that bad. But you're right, it's not great. All right, what's next?
From Andy. Hi, John. I see why you're in the Helix video setting up your bed. You're trying to show off your arms. Show them gains. I see you, John. I see you.
I tell you, that is the reason. Like a lot of people write and say, "Why do you always wear long sleeve?" Like Rob's wearing t-shirts. Why are you always wearing long sleeve shirts? Because people always make fun of me. When if I take a picture of me sitting in my backyard, it's like, "Oh, John's showing off the guns." So I don't really do that. No, it was a particularly hot day. A part of the Helix ad required. It was a requirement, and I have no problem with it. I think it's great. But part of the requirement was shoot some footage of yourself actually setting up the bed. And I actually think it was a good idea, but it was a hot day. I was wearing my Dwayne Johnson rock hoodie and stuff like that. But whenever I do stuff, that's why I never wear stuff like that because people always make fun of me.
But you work out.
I know, but still, people like I don't like.
It's
can
the
look good.
internet. They'll make fun of you either way,
I know.
man.
I just don't like feeling like people are putting me
You
under a
look
microscope.
great.
Anyway.
Show your arms off,
All
buddy.
right, what's next?
Buddy.
From Red. Today marks 8 years since Robin Williams passed.
Oh wow!
What Dreams May Come is still the most beautiful film I've ever seen. 98 Oscar, best effects, Bring on the Filthy.
It is my second most beautiful visually shot film I've ever seen. To me, the most beautiful film I've ever seen is Jet Li's Hero. Like every frame of that movie is like a color palette work of art. It's just incredible. But yeah, What Dreams May Come certainly ranks up. I still remember the day we were doing AMC Movie Talk, and it was the first time that I ever got a little bit weepy talking about it. I've only ever done that twice, Robin Williams and Carrie Fisher. And I think the reason I got weepy talking about it on the show was because like it's hard, I think, for our brains to make a distinction. I spent so much of my life with Robin Williams.
Yep.
Right.
I just, and that the same with Carrie Fisher. So much of my life has been spent with Carrie Fisher on my screen, but I don't know that our brain makes that distinction. And I spent so many hours of my life with Robin Williams on my screen, being entertained and being inspired by and all that kind of stuff, that the day he died and we were talking about it on the show, I broke down a bit. But yeah, 8 years, man. What's your favorite Robin Williams movie?
I'm a huge fan of The World According to Garp. Ooh. I love The World According to Garp, and I read the book, and I just, his performance, that was like his first real dramatic performance. He's not particularly funny in it, but he's wonderful in it. I just love that film.
That's you. What about you?
Dead Poet Society and Birdcage.
I'm gonna go I gotta say Aladdin.
He's great in Aladdin.
I mean, like Dead Poet Society, incredible. Good Morning Vietnam, incredible. I told you a story.
Good Will Hunting.
My dad, the first time we ever had a Laserdisc player was my dad was in a bowling league on Monday nights. And I would often go along with them just to get on my mom's hair. And he'd give me a handful of quarters to play some video games that were at the bowling alley. But they also rented Laserdisc machines and movies
At the bowling alley?
at the bowling alley.
Wow.
It was also the first place we ever rented a VCR from. But my dad rented a Laserdisc player. And in that first week or two, there were movies like, these are the ones my dad rented. Dan Aykroyd's Dr. Detroit. Oh, yes. But one of them was also The World According to Garp.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the first movies I watched at home.
Wow.
Was one of those ones.
It's pretty sophisticated too.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
From Sir John, another Indian movie recommendation. Ajia by the same director as RRR. A movie about a guy who reincarnates as a fly and takes revenge on his killer. This movie is bonkers.
Oh, I want to see that.
Okay. We have determined once we are done Sandman, we are watching RRR.
Okay, yeah, you got to do it.
I mean, I've been putting this off for way too long, but Ann and I were like, okay, once we get through Sandman, we're now 5 episodes in, we're going to get to RR. So once I do, then that will mean a little bit more to me, of course. All right, what's next?
From Andy, going to see E.T. the Extraterrestrial 40th anniversary
Nice.
today. It's going to be my first time ever watching the movie.
What?
You're so lucky.
Wow.
I'm envious. And you get to do something we never get to do, which is experience ET for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We'll never get to do
Probably
that
in IMAX. I
Yeah,
bet
well,
they're going to see it in
they're
IMAX.
releasing it in IMAX. I got
Yeah.
super excited about it. 'Cause
again. I don't know that I've ever seen it on the big screen.
I did it at the Hollywood Bowl. It was magnificent.
I mean, I saw 15 minutes of it as John Williams played the music to it, but yeah, but that's it. I mean, that's such a
Maybe
great
we
movie.
should do that with Jaws. I haven't seen Jaws yet.
Wait, you haven't? I thought you were the one who
I
told
haven't.
Dan to watch it.
No, I haven't watched Jaws yet.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
You've
I mean,
never seen Jaws?
No, never.
We
never.
were talking about that, but we won't get into that. But we were talking.
I'm in the Meg era, baby. That's my shark movie.
All right, what's next?
They're the same size. It's weird.
From Tim Platt, Chris is to The Flash as what John is to Indiana Jones 5.
Well, really, what really is though was Indiana Jones 4. Mm-hmm. I mean, for years, and I was right for years and years and years and years and years. I said they're not making, but once they announced 4 and all that kind of stuff, I don't believe it. I do not believe it's a real movie. I do not believe Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is actually a real movie. And then when the day came out, I had to.
Do you think they're going to drop a trailer for Indy 5 at D23?
Yes, 100%, 100%. Bombs are dropping, Rob. Bombs are dropping that day.
I got to admit, I'm really excited to see
Actually,
a
you know what?
glimpse of this movie.
The first time I saw Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was on Paramount's lot in that iconic theater they have there. And Ann and I were sitting, or was it? It might have been with somebody else. Can't remember if this was before or after me and Ann got serious. Anyway,
There's nothing
might have been
wrong
Ann.
with you confusing your wife
You know
for
who we
someone
were
else?
sitting beside? Larry King. We were sitting beside Larry King, who I love Larry King, but that was one Skeletor looking motherfucker. For like he was like he was like, and he's sitting there with what I think was like his 7th wife, who was this hot like 33-year-old blonde,
God
gorgeous
bless
gorgeous
Larry.
woman. God bless Larry King, and he was funny because after the movie was done, like a bunch of people were standing around, and I could overhear him talking about the movie to people, and I'm like trying so hard not to laugh out loud because the dude was ripping hilarious. He was so funny. Anyway, all right, what's next?
From Sin Vendetta, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Sin Vendetta.
Finally saw Bullet Train last night in the AMC Dolby Prime and loved it. So much better and funnier than I was expecting. Sure, it went off the rails toward the end, but it was so much fun. One of my favorites this year.
Listen, I'll tell you what, again, I think it is a poor man's Guy Ritchie Lock, Stock, and everything, but it's an entertaining movie. I mean, I was smiling almost through the whole thing. The twins' characters were great. I mean, Brad Pitt, he should have been making movies like this for a while. I mean, he's really, really good in it. All the different cameos. It's just a fun time at the movies, man. I had a good time. I'm glad you enjoyed it as well, man. All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw, I almost followed my chair laughing here or during your Disney segment. Hashtag dropping the D+, hashtag power bottom.
Yeah, these are phrases I never want to utter it again.
Sorry.
That's what it is.
Right.
Depends. Do you want the little D or do you want the big D?
I need that section. clipped
How
out.
much D do you need in your life right now? All right, what's next?
When referring to, of course, a cable streaming service.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
What are
This
you
is a
talking
professional channel. Gosh.
What
Banjo,
did you think we were talking about?
Banjo wielding Velociraptor. Sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Banjo.
If Flash gets canceled, how would you like Supergirl to be incorporated into the DCEU? Personally, I think Cavill being a mentor to yet another powerful young girl is a proven golden formula. There's your Superman returns.
Doesn't matter. It does. There's a million different things they can do, and they certainly don't need I was reading an article on, I won't mention the outlet. I was reading an article on a certain outlet and it says, if this happens, it opens the door for this. And I happen to know the person who wrote the article. So I wrote them and I'm like, you fucking well know they don't need to open a door. They can just drop them in anytime they want. They didn't need to open the door for T'Challa. They just dropped him right in there. Civil War. Here's T'Challa. They didn't need to open a door for it. They're just, there he is. I mean, so if they do decide to do Supergirl, which by the way, they've never officially said that they are doing Supergirl, but if they do, I hate to say it, they don't need Cavill there to do it. They can literally come up with any one of 1,000 stories for how and why Supergirl is there, to quote Batista.
Can I just say I've been waiting for Supergirl to enter the DCEU, probably because she's my favorite character to play in Injustice. I want to see this version.
She's a good one to play in Injustice.
I want to see Supergirl in this universe if they continue it. The actress playing her is I like her, so yeah.
I like how the character, I like the design of that character.
The design, while it is not exact to it, it very much feels like an Injustice costume. The one we've seen her wear for the Flash, it looks like an Injustice
There's
costume.
something modern about it though that I really like. And I if nothing else, poor Michael Keaton. I really want to see Michael Keaton in this movie. And we're going
to see Michael Keaton.
We're going to see
we're going to,
man, please
barring
don't cancel
Ezra
this
going
movie.
right off the rails, we will see Michael Keaton in this movie.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. All right. What's next?
Guillaume Lebel. Guillaume Lebel. Hey, John, just tried sour cream on matzo sticks and color me shocked. It's pretty good.
Every day.
Still prefer marinara though.
No, okay, that's fine. You can. That's fine. You can do that. That's fine. It's just the acknowledgement. Sour cream with matzo sticks is boss, man. It is so good. And now everybody, we're batting 1,000 now. Everybody from Chef Rigo down, everybody who's acknowledged that they've tried it and says, wow, this is good. Try it. You won't go back.
When we go see the Flash movie, I'll eat mozzarella sticks and sour cream.
Well,
that's my bad.
How good could mozzarella or sour cream be at a movie theater?
How good could they be anywhere?
We'll go to
you gotta go to
Yard
the right
House.
place.
Well, Yard House.
Yard House is good mozz, yeah.
And that
There we
way I
go.
can chug beer and get rid of that taste.
All right, what's next?
Right there with you.
From Thomas BDL. Hi, team. What's a recent movie that makes you cry beyond control? For me, Earl and the Dying Girl. That film destroys me every single time.
I've literally only had 6 movies in my life that have made me cry.
What?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll get emotional and stuff like that, but only like 5 or 6 movies that ever made me cry.
Oh.
And I think the most recent one that actually did it was Roberto Benigni's Life is Beautiful. I mean, look, I was literally in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. There were literally Hell's Angels in the movie theater, and there were tears. That's just one of them. So that's probably the most recent one. What's the last one that made you cry, Chris?
Oh, I cry at everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably whatever pizza commercial you saw last
I'm
night.
like, this is beautiful. Belle, I sobbed in, and I was like, there were only like 3 other people in the movie theater, and I was just like very loudly sobbing by myself.
I don't remember. There's something recently that made me cry, but I can't remember.
For All Mankind episode, you said.
You know what?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was not a movie, but last week's episode of For All Mankind, when a certain character gives a certain speech, I teared up.
Very
But
nice.
the first movie I cried in was Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Mine was American Tail. And I didn't even know I had it in me. We're watching in the classroom, and I had to put my head down. I don't know why.
What part?
Lots of parents, when he
Oh my
started singing,
gosh.
I was like,
Wow.
where's my mom and dad? Where are they?
All right, what's next?
From Corey Hensley, one of 2. Feeling thoughtful. John, I started following you at the end of your AMC days. Y'all been a constant through personally and financial difficult times. Oh, I'm grateful to finally be in a place to support the show on a regular basis.
Aw.
So thank you for all killing my work productivity every day at 1:30.
I remember. You might have been one of these people. I remember even when I was doing the movie blog back in the movie blog days, and we started the world's first movie podcast. Like how many people would write in and say they were listening at work. I'm like, how much productivity are we killing in the world today? But all that. But honestly, like, thank you so much for being along for the ride for this long and giving us the honor of being a part of your day. And it's very touching that you support the channel as well at the same time. So thank you so much for that, man, for being along for this long of the ride. We appreciate that. All right, what's next?
From Josh Becker, quick thoughts on The Prestige.
Love it. But I love the movie. Really don't like the ending.
Right there with you.
Yep.
I
Yep,
agree.
that's the quick thoughts. All right, what's next?
From Fifi, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Fifi.
Rob, months ago, I listened to you and bought Netflix stock when it dropped to its all-time lowest. Today, I sold my stock in Netflix for a $2K profit.
Nice.
Thanks again.
Congratulations.
Buy
That's
low,
a-
sell high.
That's a lot of hot toys.
That's a lot.
This is
it's
where you
actually not that many hot
Yeah.
toys. That's like 7 hot toys.
Yeah, probably
8.
not.
So
that.
we're now done listening to Rob for financial advice.
Yes, they're in the financial advice.
You
getting
got out while the
stops.
getting was good.
I learned everything I know from Jonathan Boyko. Thank you very much.
Hey, well, that's not a bad place to go.
I know.
All right, guys, hey, listen, we're going to take just a quick break here because we're going to hear from one more sponsor of today's show. I had a big glass of this morning. Our friends over at Athletic Greens. Hey, guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Athletic Greens. Now, I started taking Athletic Greens because I don't eat enough vegetables, and I was looking for a way to make up for that deficit in my diet of those vitamins and minerals that I really need in my system, and thank goodness I found Athletic Greens, and I literally take it every morning. You see, with one scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, all the things. And my wife got onto it, and now she absolutely loves it. You know, tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high-quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb, like Athletic Greens. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Campea. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Campea to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
And a special thanks to Athletic Greens, our sponsor for this episode of the John Campea Show. Chris, what is next?
Perfectly legal blockade. Hi, Rob. Do you own? I say that way too happy each time. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Hi, Rob. Do you own any Canadian films? Good Cop, Bon Cop, Trailer Park Boy movies, the Terrence and Phillip movie?
Well, I own every single David Cronenberg movie, first of all.
Good Canadian kid.
I own most of the why am I drawing a blank? Oh, Adam McGoyan movies, like The Sweet Hereafter, things like that. I love Don McKellar as an actor, and he's in a movie called Last Night that Cronenberg is actually in. And then Guy Madden, you know, another. I'm a fan of the Canadian cinema.
Oh, what? You're waiting for me to say something? Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry, everybody. Dr. John is back, ready to give you a healthy dose of vitamin D. Okay, so no, what's next?
Oh boy. Okay.
Raymond Vergara.
Well, it's good for you. You need vitamin D.
Box Office Mojo tracks films in the American market. Who tracks the box office of foreign films? Like if an independent producer shows a Stephen Chow or Filipino film in your local AMC.
All right, so I made an entire video about this once, about how is the box office calculated, and it's E something something. Anyway, Intrax. Anyway, there is one company that kind of monitors and tabulates box office worldwide.
Yeah.
For all markets, everywhere. So what happens? And I made a big explainer video about this once, but movie theaters individually report to a system, and that's this Intrax place. I might be saying the name of the company wrong, but for argument's sake, just for discussion, we'll call it Intrax. And so all the numbers from every movie theater in the world go to this Intrax place, and then Intrax starts to tabulate and produce reports. And they give an initial report, which is kind of like they gather in all the information, because some markets are a little bit slower to get their information in as well. So they generate an initial report and then a finals report on that. And those get sent out to the distributors, and the distributors get that information there. So yeah, it's really the same place for every movie everywhere that the initial stuff gets in. And then box office Mojo and sites like that, they are basically reporting on those numbers that they get from Intrax. And again, that's probably not the name of the company. I'm just using that as the placeholder for here. So hopefully that explains that. All right, what's next?
From Wesley Cunningham, I just really hope WB gives Muschietti, Cali, etc. sweet deals after all the nonsense they've been subjected to.
I really hope so too. Like they certainly deserve it. Like with all the stuff that they, like, what do you say to Andy Muschietti? It's like, dude, I know you're busting your ass so hard. You've delivered us a really good movie, and we're so sorry you're having to put up with this. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. I hope they do. By the way, some of our folks in our live chat who probably seen that explainer video, it's not Intrax, it's Rentrack.
Right.
Rentrack is the name of that company. Thank you so much, guys, for pointing that out. All right, what's next?
From Ty Burton, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Ty.
I'm sure I'll upgrade to the higher Disney Plus tier no matter what, but I need them to unleash that Muppet back catalog. Give me Muppets Tonight, the Muppets at Walt Disney World, and Muppet Family Christmas. Hell yeah, Ty. I don't want to keep looking for this on YouTube that's all shifty and grainy.
By the way, I might be wrong about this. So take this with a giant grain of salt. I thought I heard that somebody else just got the streaming rights to Muppet, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not dreaming. I'm not imagining this, right?
catalog.
Yeah, it's going to somebody else.
But does Disney own the Muppets?
I don't know. I don't know if they own them or if they just licensed it, or I don't know.
I need to know right now.
This is a very
I need a paper bag.
this is a traumatic moment for Christine.
You guys, I know every single word to Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island. Right?
Let's see.
Figure this out for me, Rob, please. Be a
All
good
right.
husband.
What's
Oh,
next?
yes.
What's
Okay.
next?
Jonathan Bunch. D+, DD+, DDD+.
Yes, I mean those are all good. Those are
Triple D+.
yeah, triple D plus.
For the special type of person.
What's next?
From Thomas BDL. At $5 a month, Apple TV now feels like the best value of all platforms by a mile to me. It'll go up someday, but Apple could swallow the cost for years.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's true. Apple, and I think I've been living free on Apple TV just because I keep buying Apple products, and whenever you buy one, they like give you a year of Apple Plus.
Same here.
So, but again, they're in their drug dealer phase. They're just getting themselves established. But Apple is like any other company. They do things to make money. And eventually they're going to want Apple TV Plus to be making them money. So that price is going to go up at some point.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. For now, it is the best deal, especially they've been making. I mean, they don't have anywhere near the library that Netflix or Disney or HBO has, nowhere near it. But they're putting out some good content for $5 a month. It's pretty good.
For All Mankind.
Yep.
Season 3
Severance,
finale tonight.
The morning show. I mean, it just goes on and on. That Chris Evans one that everybody seems to like.
It's not going to be $4.99 when the Godzilla series comes out, for sure.
Probably
it's not
not.
going to be $4.99.
Probably not. All right, what's next?
From Blake Feely, I signed up for Disney Plus at D23 2019. My annual fee is still listed at the $69.99 price. Are people who signed up for the 3-year deal exempt from price increases?
You should be. I mean, if you signed up for a 3-year deal, that should lock it in. So my assumption would be that you should be safe. Theoretically, again, I say that as somebody who's not read over your contract. I don't know, but that would be my guess. So I think you might be safe for at least the next little bit. All right, what's next?
From Stubble McShave, Clarkson's Farm on Amazon with rookie farmer Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear is some of the most wholesome, fun TV that I've watched in a long time.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, me either.
No.
I mean, I loved Top Gear, and Jeremy Clarkson was quite fun on that.
I mean, it's just like literally somebody who doesn't know how to be a farmer now is trying to be a farmer.
Oh, I'm going to watch that with Logan. He's going to be so frustrated.
What's that?
Logan grew up on farms.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he owns a dairy farm in South Dakota. Yeah.
My family has, we've got the Campea Ranch up in Kent that Ray has been to.
Yeah.
Ray has been to the Campea Ranch. But yeah, I certainly don't know the first thing about anything. Like, we got horses there and all that. And my dad had like this huge barn, right? Like with all these animals, and I would take Ann there and I'd show her around. But I don't know how to do a single thing with any of them. Like that's like so outside of my
I
experience.
know there's a cannabis section somewhere on that farm. I'm going to
On
find it
Logan?
one of these visits.
No.
Or his.
Did they not? Did my dad not tell you the story? Like like the second year after he bought the ranch, and we moved the family there. He in one of the back 200 acres, they found somebody had been using the property to grow a bunch of cannabis and weed and stuff like that.
Dank nugs,
So my
baby.
dad went out there, he torched the
dankest.
whole thing. My dad went out there and torched the whole thing. So it's like,
Did he stand close to the smoke if he torched it?
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
it legal? Is it legal in Canada?
Let's not get
It wasn't at the time. It wasn't at the time.
The dankest.
But this is going back. My dad bought that farm like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, all right, what's next?
From Matt Sanders, Ray watched Ratatouille yet? My favorite Pixar movie. Have you?
No, what we're waiting on.
We're waiting for that theater.
Well, the theater is now up and running. The home theater, we have dubbed the home theater we have as the TJCS Theater. TJCS Theater is there. And Jonathan, I don't know, can you go on my Twitter, Jonathan, just scroll down till you see, because I put up a picture of it. I wanted, for those of you who haven't seen it yet. But what we are waiting for now is we also ordered, when we bought this insane sofa, we also ordered at the same time this cast iron bar top with like this solid oak top to it with 4 cast iron stools that are just amazing. That'll sit right behind the couch to create multiple levels of viewing. And we know, are we able to find it? Yeah. So there's the home, there's the TJCS Theater.
Snazzy.
So
Nice.
it's not 100% complete yet because, again, we got to get that bar top that'll go behind it because we know if Ray lays on that couch, that can hold like 8 or 9 people and is the most comfortable
I'm
thing
already sleeping right now.
I have ever sat in my life. Ray will instantly fall asleep. So he's going to have to sit at the bench behind it. But that comes in this week. Once it comes in and we got it all set up, we're going to film it. We're going to film a reaction from Ray because Ryan hasn't seen Ratatouille either.
All right.
So we are going to do that. We're going to film it and we're going to do a bunch of first thought reactions to there because we're going to have Chris and Aaron watch The Descent in
Oh,
there.
I can't wait. I want to
We're going to film that. Yeah, we're
So
going to shoot a
annoying.
lot of stuff. We're going to shoot a lot of stuff from
Right.
from the TJCS Theater, and Ratatouille will be the first one that we do. All right, what's next?
From the Robo Producer, John, please be a guest on Rob's Physical Media. Change your life. Hashtag Let's Get Physical.
Yeah, no,
That's our Sunday morning show.
is it? Yeah, no, I'm familiar with it. I'm not a physical media guy, so it'd be kind of hard. By the way, I want to mention
You
this
could be.
about the TJCS Theater there. I should point out, like, I can't afford that, but the good folks at Hisense, who actually make this TV here, the good folks at Hisense, they sent us this for free, this like $5,000 short throw projector. And they said, hey, you can have this if and give it a shot, give it a whirl for a while. And if you like it, talk about it on your show. So we're now just really putting it through its paces. At some point, I'll do a full review on the projector. But the only way we could put this theater together was because they sent that to me for free. So there's that.
Do you have
All
a
right.
PlayStation 5?
I do have a PlayStation 5 to hook up to it. All right, what's next?
Physical media.
From Brandon Clark, if you were Zaslav, how would you fix the DC? Would you move forward with Gal, Momoa, and Zachary Levi? Where does Joker fit? Do you reset with Robert Pattinson?
Okay, first of all, the number one thing I would do is maintain having a shared cinematic universe and some films that live outside of that. Because without that, you become very limited creatively. The fact that they had I love that they did this. When they announced the Joker movie, I'm like, finally, either DC or Marvel is finally going to do some standalone films that live outside of the shared cinematic universe. It doesn't have to be either or. So the number one thing that I would suggest to David Zaslav is maintain that. Maintain having a shared cinematic universe and be committed to still making some standalone single shot movies that can live outside of that universe. Because that gives the filmmakers more creative freedom to do some interesting stuff. That's number one. I'm not sure. Like a couple of years ago, I thought was the time to reset the universe. But now, we talked about this the other day, Rob, they've got a $1 billion franchise in Aquaman. Despite the fact that Wonder Woman 84 stumbled, it's still a very, very valuable property in IP. So I think what they're going to do is some kind of soft reset where they'll keep certain elements but change certain things and kind of I don't know. How do you think they're going to handle it?
Well, I think you're right because look, Black Adam and Shazam are all part of the same universe, and Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman, exists in the Shazam world. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are all part of that. Ben Affleck is out there somewhere, his Batman. So there is a shared universe, and like you always say, winning cures everything.
Yeah.
If they made a great Superman movie with Henry Cavill, that's all they need to do. then and the thing is, it's not Marvel. They can choose to make these films linked when they want to. What I loved about Aquaman, the first Aquaman, is, yeah, that's Jason Momoa that Zack Snyder cast in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. We saw that clip of him, but that movie was so far removed in terms of tone. The warring tribes of the sea, but it was still part of the cinematic universe. And like comic books, you can do your whole run of a character, and when you want that character to cross over with someone else, you can. It's just not as everyone's looking at Marvel going, well, it has to be that kind of tight-knit continuity. You don't have to do that.
All right. What's next?
From Dr. J. If Warner Brothers releases Batman Flashpoint, effectively wiping the Flash movie from existence, I want a Chris Carr I Told You So hot toy released, in conjunction with a Logan rolling his eyes hot toy. Oh, I'd love that.
I'd buy that 2-pack.
Yeah. Aw. We'd be so cute. We could hang out near your band.
I mean, if they do
You can be
change the
groupies
name
of
of this to like Batman Flashpoint or just Flashpoint. I mean, that's a very easy one to do. Like the Batman Flashpoint, that's stretching it. That's pushing it a bit. I still think it could happen, but just calling it Flashpoint, that's an easier kind of thing. I mean, the reality is they probably will just stick with Flash, but I mean, some kind of change, it could be the way to go. We'll find out. All right, what's next?
From Ben Rayner, they will do option 2, but option 4 I think should happen. Release now and just end the what if aspect.
I mean, I really do believe that they didn't say in this article, but in a previous article that we read off yesterday, was that they seem fixed on June 2023? Is it June or July?
Yeah, I think it's June 2023.
The summer 2023, but they are evaluating their options. I really do think one of those options they're evaluating is just dropping this sucker a lot sooner before Ezra Miller can do anything more batshit crazy, right? Just drop it now. Because you're going to believe one of two things. One, that by the time summer of 2023 comes around, things will have died down a bit. Ezra will have gone through 8 months of not having anything else happen, and it'll be easier to release the film. Or two, you believe that in the summer 2023, Ezra Miller has done 6 other crazy things to make the situation even worse. So your best option is just drop it now, because now's as good as it's going to be. So, I mean, I don't know. I still kind of wonder what they're going to do about that. All right, what's next?
From Andy, put Cheryl Blossom and Wanda Maximoff in a room, and only one of them is walking out alive, and it ain't going to be Wanda.
I can't remember which one.
Riverdale. So Cheryl Blossom is the redhead, and she becomes
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
right.
By making out with her friends.
That's
like you do.
I mean, I've made out with a lot of friends. I have no superpowers.
I've never gotten anything good from it.
Never gotten anything nothing
just
good
mono.
from it. Just
Man.
mono.
Disappointing. Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Just mono and regret. Mark Netto. No more mailbag?
Yeah, mailbag is no more. We made the announcement on the show yesterday and on yesterday's mailbag, and I put it up in the community tab that mailbag is no more. Now, some people who didn't get the message have still sent in some more mailbag stuff, so I'm going to respond to those ones personally in an email. I'm going to email all those people back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, send them right in. You just opened that up, baby.
Yeah.
Do you still have the tip thing still open?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's not anymore. Okay.
It's now closed. But yeah, mailbag is no more, and how and why and what comes next is something we will be talking about in the town hall meeting later today at 3 p.m. for our director and producer level members. Make sure you guys come back and join us there, because we're going to be talking about that. All right, what's next?
From CPU 939, sending in a $24 super chat.
Thank you, CPU.
We all know the Flash movie isn't real. I think they'll do Batman Flashpoint. Do you think WB will do a premiere?
I mean, listen, it really depends, going back to their options. Like if Ezra's with their mom and they go to therapy and they make progress and Ezra's willing to do like public interviews talking about their erratic behavior and all that kind of stuff and tries to make amends for it and all that kind of stuff, I could see Ezra Miller attending a premiere.
Kind of depends on like other investigations and
Exactly,
sentencing
yeah.
and all of that
Exactly.
too.
I personally think the more likely scenario, not guaranteed, just more likely, is that they don't even do a premiere. That way you don't need Ezra there and you don't have to explain why Ezra's not there. I think they just don't do a premiere. I mean, that sucks for the filmmakers. The premiere is such a big, momentous moment for everybody who worked on those films. It's a huge deal, but I think everybody will understand we just can't do one here. All right, what's next?
From Deontay Goldston, have you guys been able to watch the Hulu show The Old Man? It has really introspective writing in terms of expressing ideas. Thought it drops the ball on 2 character plot details for me. Though it drops the ball on 2 character plot details for me. Love it.
Anne watched the first episode and she loved it. She goes, we got to watch this show.
The Jeff Bridges one?
It's the Jeff Bridges
Okay.
one, Jonathan Lithgow. And so she loved the first episode, said we got to get on it. So at some point we will, but I haven't had a chance. I don't think anybody in the room has.
No,
No.
I've been
The
doing
content,
Hulu. I've been
man.
doing only Murders in the Building.
I love that
Oh,
show.
That is one Anne is like completely
Oh, it's
addicted
so
to.
good.
Completely addicted. By the way, did you hear Steve Martin saying that he thinks this is it?
Did
That
you read?
He thinks he's going to wrap it up after he does
He's like,
only.
"Well, I'm reading a book, and I'm doing this, and but yeah, I don't think I'm going to pursue anything, and I'm going to still do the show with Marty. And
Yeah, he said. Other than that, I'm not looking to pursue
Yeah.
anything else. Like
He's
so,
the best.
he likes being
actually
home
be
with his
hanging it
wife
up.
and kid.
Yeah,
I
and
love
playing
that.
his banjo.
Yeah.
which he is actually fucking good at.
He is
Yep.
fire
No,
at
I mean
banjo.
he is literally a master banjo.
He is a master.
Yeah.
Like you're,
Master
that's
banjo.
exactly right, Jonathan. He is a master banjo player. Like I remember somebody showed me a YouTube video of it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cute. He's gonna show that he plays a little banjo, and then he starts fucking rocking the banjo.
Oh, yeah.
And like, how is he playing this? Like he's insane.
I saw him perform with his band at the Hollywood Bowl once. I took Laura there.
I would like to see that. All right, what's next?
From Tim Platt. Can we invoke the Bruno rule on Ezra Miller now?
Listen, the problem is that once Flash comes out and is in the rearview mirror, then Ezra can do 1,000 things and we'll never talk about it because it doesn't matter. Because I don't like doing the TMZ bullshit loser stuff. But when it is directly connected to a major upcoming film and it's affecting the films we will or will not see, I mean, that's when we got to talk about it, right? So after this is in our rearview mirror, it doesn't matter what happens to Ezra. We'll never talk about it again. But as long as the Flash is in play and it's a question mark, we kind of have to talk about it, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
From Dave Wilson. I hope option number 1 for Ezra. There's obviously something going on with them we know nothing about. They need help. Also, Carter on Netflix is phenomenal.
Listen, we have said from day one, since the day Ezra choked that girl a couple of years ago, it's like, hey, first and foremost, we want Ezra to get help. That's why we were pleading, all of us as fans, all of us, were pleading with the old ownership of Warner Brothers at the time, 2 years ago, intervene, come out, make statements, force Ezra Miller to get help or something, because this could get really, really bad. And I think as crazy as things have gotten, I think everybody's been lucky that it hasn't gotten worse. So I mean, yeah, I hope so too. Fingers crossed. All right, what's next?
From Hut359. Rob loves Sandman so much, he made a movie where it was integral to his fictionalized self finding true love.
That is true.
That is
True.
That's so cute.
There's a meet cute over a Sandman graphic novel in Free Enterprise.
Really?
Yeah. And actually in the sequel, if we ever made the sequel, we were 2 days away from shooting. Neil Gaiman was going to be in it, playing
Wow.
himself and
Nice.
presenting the ring.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, too bad we didn't get to make that.
All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw. I saw the orgy scene from Harley Quinn online. It's great, John, and I got to get on this show. Bane was funny.
Bane is so good. Like every time I
Who
watch,
does his voice?
I know
I'll
Alan
look it up.
Tudyk does like a bunch
ton
of
of
voices on the show. He might be Bane. Are you looking that up right now,
Yep.
Chris? I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was, but I'm not really sure, because the voice of Bane, the character of Bane in this show, is like one of my favorite characters on TV. He goes, "I will have my vengeance. What's going on? You know what you did. You never returned the pasta maker." Like it's the best. Bane is absolutely the best. I don't know. Nothing?
James Adomian?
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
Nebraska kid?
Good. All right.
Lots of VO work?
I didn't know it was Alan,
Yeah.
but Alan Tudyk does like a bunch of voices.
Oh,
on
he
it.
does a ton on there.
He's so good on that. His Joker is so good.
He's Clayface, Joker, Condiment King, Calendar Man, Cool Guard, Dr. Trap, Firefly, Hot Southern Bartender, Manager, Singing Fish, Students,
He
Goons.
does a lot.
Jeez.
All right. What's next?
From Kimmy Riker, sending in a $50 super
Wow.
chat.
Thank you, Kimmy, so much for the
Kimmy.
support.
Oh my gosh.
Jimmy.
Hi, John. I was upset when James Gunn killed off Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad. If there was a way to bring him back, would they do it?
Well, I mean, let's look. Okay, so let's start with this. Yeah, basically wiping out the Suicide Squad. I was surprised that they had, I forget the actor's name. He was also, he was in the Die Hard. He played John McClane's son in Die Hard.
Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney, thank you. He was in Spartacus with Aaron. I like Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
And I was really shocked and surprised when they killed him off. So listen, I was shocked and surprised when they killed all of them off so quickly.
Yeah.
Like they were advertising Nathan Fillion in this movie. Oops, there he goes. I can't remember the name of what was the comedian name? The guy who was just dating a Kardashian.
Oh,
Pete
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson was really funny in a second. Gone. Weasel, which by the way, I don't know why I get hooked on watching these YouTube videos that are basically these big collage videos or montage videos of all the best cosplay from like Anime Fest and from Comic-Con. And there was somebody at Comic-Con this year with a Weasel costume. That was unbelievable. And he was just going around licking everything. It was like one of the funniest. But when they start like killing everybody off, it was shocking. Listen, when it comes to comic book movies, you don't need to find a way to do it. You just decide you're going to do it. And then you make up whatever reason you want that they're there. Oh yeah, Captain Boomerang is back. How the hell can he be back? We saw him die. Waller cloned them. That was a clone on the thing. Yeah, the real Captain Boomerang. So they can literally find anything they want. And even though I hate it when comic book movies go too far into the fake deaths. Now, Ray doesn't give a shit about Captain Boomerang. Ray wants somebody else back badly.
The reason I will never watch Peacemaker because he killed my boy Rick Flag.
Yep,
that's it.
He hasn't watched Peacemaker because of that.
Wow.
Because Peacemaker killed Rick Flag. He's like, fuck Peacemaker.
I mean,
Yeah, but you have him back as Ed Baldwin.
Yeah.
when Ray loves, he loves deeply and
That's
truly.
right. You would love Peacemaker, Ray.
You would.
I know.
You
I've
would
heard
love it.
but too bad.
But listen, and there's a lot of stuff about Rick Flag in the show.
Yeah.
I think it might be therapeutic for you to watch it.
Maybe.
It might bring some healing.
Season
Ray.
2.
Some healing. All right.
Peacemaker is a healing factor.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. And Kimmy, thank you so much for supporting us on that level. It's really generous. Thank you so much. All right, what's next?
From Adam Sussy. Have you seen the Pennyworth season 3 has been retitled Pennyworth: The Origins of Batman's Butler?
Yeah.
And no, I am not joking.
We talked about this briefly on the show yesterday.
Dude.
So dumb.
And it is official. That is.
Yep.
Now look, I said it yesterday, I say it again. Could Pennyworth have used a little bit of a refresh on the title? Yeah, because people hear the term Pennyworth. They have unless you're a hardcore comics person, you have no idea what they're talking about. So I get that. Can you bring that up again, Jonathan? Let me see. I want to get the wording right. Pennyworth, the origins of Batman's Butler. That sounds like an episode of Harley Quinn. That doesn't sound like the title of an actual, legitimately good show.
It's like a
I've never even heard of Pennyworth.
Like, I want to know who's in that fucking room when somebody brings up, we've got the title, so we've got a proposal for a title. You're really, what's the title? So we're thinking of Pennyworth, the origins of Batman's Butler. Who in that fucking room is not raising their hand saying, question? Like, what clown car of an executive room is sitting there and hearing that going, yeah, that's the title right there. Like, how much coke did they snort?
dank nugs, baby.
Damn it.
And shouldn't it be Bruce Wayne's butler?
How many dank nugs?
Why are we revealing his identity?
Yeah.
How much vitamin D was consumed that, like, nobody in that room goes, maybe that's not a good idea?
I will say,
Who said that's a good idea? Who said that's a good title?
I mean, wouldn't it be like the Wayne family butler? Shouldn't that? I mean, like you said,
anything like that.
There's a spoiler in the
People like
title.
this show.
Everyone's going to know.
people like this show from
It's a
what I'm
good
reading.
show.
It's good.
Yeah.
Even
It's
I've
a
watched
good
episodes
show.
of it.
What was it called before this? Just Pennyworth?
Pennyworth.
Okay, well, then now I don't
Yeah.
get it then. Because if they were with Pennyworth the whole time, then
And the thing is, Batman doesn't have a butler.
Yeah.
The Wayne family has a butler.
But here's the other question. This is season 3. Has anybody watched seasons 1 and 2 and not figured out this is
I
Batman's
literally
butler?
didn't even know this had
Is
two
there
seasons.
anybody that doesn't know that? Is there anybody that doesn't know that after watching the first two? It's like, wait a minute, this show we've watched for 2 years, this is the guy who becomes Alfred? Yes.
What's interesting is this was the
Alfred.
answer to
well,
them
he was born
bolstering
and given the
ratings.
name.
Yes, this is how we got to get
This is
the
how we're going to get
ratings up.
more ratings.
Whatever. It's
Exactly.
The whole point is that Batman isn't the show. Then if they call it that, does that mean you're going to see Alfred bringing Batman food every episode?
No, but that's the thing, right? That was their whole thing. Some genius said, "Well, you got to put the word Batman in the title." It's like, no, you don't. No. Now listen, this isn't going to kill the show. Okay, it's a title. I just can't believe
Dad just gets a little angry
fourth grade
sometimes.
bullshit here of like, well, from the origins of Batman's butler. Who came up with that? Come on, and it's not going to ruin the show. It's just the title. Who cares? But I mean, it's
maybe they'll change it so every episode opens with Batman ringing a bell. And then Pennyworth comes down into the
Master Wayne.
Batcave, and then they launch into a story, and the whole
I
episode's
can
a
see it. He,
flashback.
like the little like. They rings the bell, and Alfred goes, "Yes, sir." Alfred, tell me again the story of the time that you went to the Queen's palace. Well, sir, it was 1920. Yeah,
I would, but that's it. I'd watch that
and then
show.
that starts every episode.
I mean, you can't.
Starts with, and then they come down. Alfred, tell me the story every single time.
I would just want them to do the animated series bit, the Master Wayne, I've drawn you a bath, and he picks up a picture of a bathtub. He's like, this reminds me of my time I studied art back in France. Let me talk to you about that mission. It was wild.
When I stooped, Wonder Woman's mother.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
One
right,
time
what's
Alfred power
next?
bottomed.
From Stephen J. If Bernthal makes a return, Punisher War Machine in Armor Wars a possibility?
Ooh,
honestly,
Punisher
it's-
War Machine.
I love the MCU. Everybody knows I love the MCU. But one of my frustration things is like, just put somebody in Iron Man armor. It's great. Spider-Man's not cool. Give him Iron Man armor.
What?
Punisher's not cool. Give him Iron Man armor. And I get it. There's precedent. I really hope they don't.
Punisher
because
was in that?
Punisher does not need Iron Man armor.
Yeah, he does.
So I would really hope not. But I would not put it past them at all.
There is a great Punisher hot toy.
Yeah,
there is.
I know.
Yep.
Do you
I
own
know.
it?
There's
I do
precedent.
not.
Oh.
Ryan does.
It's not.
Ryan
canon.
has that?
Yeah, he bought that one specifically.
Ooh, we
What
have
is
to
it?
start
He owns the
borrowing
Bernthal
some
or
of
what?
Ryan's.
Yeah,
hot
no,
toy
it's not a
stuff.
Bernthal head. It's like he put a classic Punisher head on.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. All right, what's next?
From Lucky BX, hi crew. I don't know if this was covered, but we lost Roger E. Mosley of Magnum PI
Yeah.
fame last weekend. Condolences to his family and friends.
Yeah. I mean, I listen. When I was a kid, I would watch reruns of Magnum PI.
Who'd he play again?
He had the helicopter, man.
The
Yeah.
Helicopter Man.
He flew the helicopter. It's just weird because the part that didn't throw me when I heard that he passed away, which is that the part that threw me was the age. It's like, really, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, how old's Tom Selleck now?
Oh, he's in his 70s.
He still looks like he's in his late 50s.
Because remember, he was going to play Indiana Jones.
Yep. Yeah, it was his role. He was cast to play it. All right, what's next?
From Stubble McShave, it seems Ezra will be flash in the pan. It'll be a flash in the pan. I'm sorry, Stubble, I messed up your joke.
I'll give you that one. All right.
Batager play. What did you
Batgare.
think? What did you think of X-Men debut that the actor of becoming Professor X, actor Giancarlo Esposito?
I can't make any sense of that sentence.
What did you
Yeah.
think
Let
of
me
the
bring
X-Men
that up again. Let me
debut
read that again.
That the actor.
What did you think of the X-Men debut that the actor of becoming Professor X? I have no idea what that
Yeah.
means.
I think he,
But
I think
he's
he-
asking-
Doing?
Yeah, what would we think of Giancarlo Esposito
Yeah.
Professor X? We did an entire segment of this on the show the other day. Again, X actor and X role. I don't believe there's anybody that has to be the one to play that role. All I'm saying is that if they announced that Giancarlo Esposito was playing Professor X, I'm sure there are other names that they could mention that I'd go, wow, that's amazing too. But that would be amazing to me. That would be incredible. Like, I think you guys both agreed with
Oh,
that, right?
yeah.
That'd be great.
He can
Super
play
into
whatever
it.
he wants.
He can play whatever
love it.
he wants.
It's fine. Tom Selleck is 77, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
No problem.
And he was was he Jennifer Aniston? No, he was Courtney Cox's boyfriend
On
Right.
Friends?
in
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah.
That's right. The
was
mustache.
Richard.
I
Yeah.
referred to him as, yes. All right, what's next?
The stash.
From Jay Master, tell us, Rob, how do you really feel about Disney Plus?
I love it.
We're not going to go down this rabbit hole. We are not going down this rabbit hole. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, if WB was acquired 2 years ago, Snyder Cut released?
No,
Yeah, I don't think so either.
no.
They wouldn't have paid for it.
They wouldn't have said, it costs how much? Nope. Yeah, no, we're not in the business of throwing piles of money on a fire and watching it burn. So, no, they definitely wouldn't have done that. All right, what's next?
From Josie Reviews, producer Jonathan and Ray, thank you for the best laugh I had yesterday with your dark sense of humor. And Rob, thank you for my vitamin D of day.
But
You're
by the
welcome.
way, I need to go back. I need to circle around back to this. We were even talking about it this morning.
Yeah.
But then I had to run into the office and set something in the stream, and I missed it. What was the joke I missed?
Jonathan.
Okay, you were talking about the anniversary, right? And
Okay.
you said the dog
Right, but the
was
three-legged
the most
dog.
expensive, and Jonathan's just
Yeah,
say
well,
it.
yeah, you said, well, the most expensive actor on the set was the dog we had to get.
Yeah.
And we specifically needed a 3-legged dog. And I said, and that doesn't even count the amputation cost.
Oh my God, that's so dark.
And then Ray just starts crying.
It was so bad.
I was like looking at the
so
chat and then just went,
Chris just
reminds
looks
me-
at me over the monitor and I'm like sipping my coffee.
yeah. Monster.
All right, what's next?
Boy.
From Chef Rigo. Chris, the day Flash releases in theaters will be the day you eat mozzarella sticks with sour cream.
Hey, no,
Yeah.
that is, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go to the debut.
We'll go to
get some
Yard
mozz-
House.
We'll go to Yard House first, get some mozzarella sour cream.
Yard House.
And you will look into my
We'll
eyes.
go into Yard House
And you
and
will
it'll be
say,
a good
you've
time."
been right all along. What have I been missing out on my whole
Never.
life? Oh,
I'll
you
die
will.
first.
I'll die first.
All right, what's next?
From Spencer Smothers. Audible, please announce Sandman Volume 3 release date.
Yeah, those are incredible.
Yeah, isn't that like a who's who of voices? on
Yeah,
that?
Yeah.
it's
Huge.
amazing. They're amazing.
All right,
Amazing.
what's next?
From Suthius, Disney Plus Premium will get you 9, 12, 18 episodes of a Marvel and or Star Wars series. Regular will get you the John Campea special of only 6 20-minute episodes.
Yeah, there's different versions of the show. You want the one where Boba Fett shows up. All right, that'll cost you extra, kid. Yeah, I am told, I know I shouldn't be hung up on the semantics, but this whole idea of starts at $10.99, what the F does that mean? I need to know what that means.
You'll find out.
You'll find out. All right, what's next?
From The Obsessed Movie Man. I like Henry Cavill, but I think there's almost no comparison in terms to personality. Christopher Reeve still reigns supreme as the definitive Superman, at least for me. Liked Henry, though.
Listen, I will not hold it against anybody or argue with anybody that to them, Christopher Reeve is the definitive Superman. I mean, I respect that absolutely, and I can see why. I mean, for the longest time, growing up as a kid, when I thought Superman, I had Christopher Reeve in my head. Everything from the curl to the golly miss kind of, that was what Superman was to me. Henry Cavill, though, but here's the problem. As we got into the 1990s and the 2000s and the 2010s and whatever, that image of Superman that Christopher Reeve so perfectly manifested was not relevant to the way the world is today. And when I watched Henry Cavill play Superman in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, I was like, if Kal-El came to Earth and was raised that way, this is how Superman would be.
Yeah.
He's an alien.
Yeah.
He's really an
And
alien.
trying to figure it out. And we see him start to evolve into something that looks a little bit more similar to that. But that's why, to me, for our era and our age, like Henry Cavill Superman, to me, is the definitive Superman. And again, I get it with the Christopher Reeve thing. I don't argue with you on that. To you, that's what it is. To me, that's why, though, it's Henry Cavill. All right, what's next?
From CPU 939, with all the drama around Ezra Miller, do you think we'll get a biopic sometime down the line?
It all depends on how Ezra's story ends.
Oh God, yeah. Let's hope it's not a Dateline.
Yeah.
You don't want that sort
No,
of.
yeah.
You don't want that. Don't want 48
Hopefully everything
hours.
turns
No.
around.
Don't want nothing like
like
that.
if it's like every
True Hollywood
musical
stories.
biopic ever made, where some young kid with a gift and they're a prodigy and they start to hit it big, but then the dark times come when they get themselves in trouble with drugs or whatever else it is, and then you get a redemption story, right? I mean, that's Walk the Line. That's the
Rocket
Freddie
Man.
Mercury one.
Robert
that's
Downey Jr.
That's the Elton John movie. I mean, that's all the same thing. If Ezra Miller has every musical biopic's kind of ending, then yes, absolutely, 100%. All right, what's next?
From Sir Jen, Disney Plus will never be the same. I want a bundle for D Plus, Paycock, and Cock Max. Isn't it $6.99?
69.
It'll be $69.99
Yeah.
or $69.69.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be your appropriate price. All right, what's next?
From Matt Boyle, Beers beats Battlestar Galactica.
Wrong. Incorrect.
Bears.
Bears beat Battlestar. One of the greatest moments. Obviously, Rob doesn't know what we're talking
Yeah.
about. One of the great lines ever from The Office.
By Michael.
Michael! It's so good. All right, what's next?
From Francisco Gomez Vega. Love you guys. I'm a little worried about the Star Wars movie future. Any thoughts?
I thought they were going to say a little worried about us.
Which would be
That would
very
be more
fair.
I'm a little
apropos.
worried.
You guys okay?
No. I mean, listen, they understood they needed to take a half a step back. Like after the disaster that was The Rise of Skywalker, I think everybody there knew they had to take half a step back. And listen, if Andor is even 75% as good as it looks, and then they can follow that up with a Mandalorian season 3 that's even 80% as good as the other two seasons have been, they're going to be on very, very good foundation here.
Is that new trilogy still on track?
No.
As far as the next Star Wars, so it's what
There's never been
It's
one.
Waititi's then, or what?
Yeah,
What
Taika
TVs?
Waititi's is going to be the next one.
Okay.
Then apparently, according to them,
Kevin Feige?
the Rogue Squadron is still on deck.
Okay.
We still got the one Kevin Feige he's got his screenwriter now working on. Kevin Feige's working on a Star Wars movie. So
But they're all standalones, right? There's no trilogy.
exactly, they're all set. Now, eventually, there's going to be a Star Wars episode 10, 11, and 12. Of that, I have no doubt. But it won't be Rey Skywalker or anything like
Yeah.
that. But no, right now I actually don't. I'm just waiting for them to get the ball rolling and finally see it.
You know what? You talk about dropping bombs. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear dates at D23.
You know what? I don't
Dates,
think you're
bro,
wrong.
dates.
I wouldn't doubt at all if Taika came out on stage. And I wouldn't doubt, Kevin Feige's there. I wouldn't doubt at all if Kevin Feige came on stage and gave some more details about his projects as well.
Yep.
We'll find out. All right, what's next?
From Andy Asola, one of 3. I think WB canceling The Flash would be foolish for a few reasons. 1, the majority of people who will see this film don't even know about the Ezra allegations.
And that's all we got.
Unfortunately.
Well, let me give you points 2 and 3.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, one of the 2 points is going to be $200 million.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is like more than double of nearly triple of what the 70 million, some people say 90 million of that. So that's a totally different scenario than what the Batgirl situation was. I don't know what his third point would have been, but I mean,
His third point would have been this: Lord Thunder just gifted 5 John Campea memberships.
oh, thank you, Lord Thunder, on behalf of
Yeah.
the viewers who are now channel members because of your generous gift. Thank you so much for that, man.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's a good thing to interrupt with. And here's the thing. The only thing that will change that, though, again, and I've been saying this for a long time, and it's in the Hollywood Reporter article, is if Ezra makes the situation palatably worse. I mean, significantly worse. If they do, then it just might put their back against the wall where they're going to have no choice. But as of right now, unless things really escalate, and I'm not talking about 2 more incidents of there was a police complaint because he was screaming at somebody on the sidewalk or something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about materially worse stuff. I think it's a foregone conclusion this movie's coming out. All right, what's next?
From Daniel Kahn, new members. COVID era put me in the sunken place. You guys helped me pull out. So grateful. Drive full time. Podcast gets me through the day. Much love.
Remember, guys, everybody, pull out. So thank you so much for letting
In
us
these unprecedented times.
for these unprecedented times.
Really, yeah.
Especially with that D plus.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day during the. I mean, seriously though, for us at the channel, the COVID, that was a really weird time for us because it.
I didn't see you for like a year and a half.
Literally, I
mean,
remember,
we saw each other every day.
I think you came. Was it when Cody was over? I can't remember. But you came over to the house. I remember, and we were standing in my living room. We went. This is the first time we've actually seen each other in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like in person.
I'd seen you and Aaron. We went to BJ's.
That's
and
right.
Had some food, and that was the first time. Remember, she was talking about the Broadway actor who got COVID.
Yep, from Hamilton, who died.
And he passed away, and we didn't know where it was going to go, what was going to happen, and then I didn't see you for a year and a half.
Yep, but it did a couple things to us. Number one, it made us doing the show remote, for which we did for like well over a year. We did the show remotely. It's tough being a movie talk channel when there were no movies in theaters and no movies being made because all production was shut down.
Yep.
We even shut the channel down for 5 weeks.
Something like that.
Yeah, I remember we even just said to the audience, guys, we literally, we have nothing to talk about. And we just shut the channel down for about 5 weeks. I mean, it was a really touch and go time. I didn't know that my channel was going to survive.
Right.
But for whatever reason, whenever we would do a mailbag or an open mic or something like that, you guys were there.
Yeah.
The audience was there. And like you guys got us through, but it was a really weird time for all of us, man. So I'm glad our show was able to be there for you as well during that, as you were there for our show. So thank you so much for that. All right.
Just a year
what's
of me
next?
being DM'd. Did you get fired? And I was like, do you know
that's-
what's happening? Do you know what's happening in the world?
I remember because when we went to remote, we tried to do a show with me, Aaron, and you.
And it was a nightmare
It
because
was
of
a
my
nightmare.
internet.
It did
But
not
then I
go
got a new
well.
router, and then I full on moved. And now my internet's great.
Yes, but
for
now
when I
we're
can
back
drive
to
here.
in-person.
And it's crazy. Remember when V just gifted 5 John Campea memberships?
Yes.
Look at you with these little
Oh my
segues,
goodness, with
Ray.
more.
Ooh.
Thank you, V. Appreciate that so much.
I don't know how
10 new members of the channel, thanks to you two guys. Thank you, V. All right, we are running out of time. How close are we getting
We're
there,
right
John?
here.
We are ending with some
Oh,
support.
we're already there. All right, what's that? Who
A
is
chaps.
supporting?
I'm so sorry. Abhishesh Kumar Gatam and Josh Becker. Thank you all so much for your support. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. And that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much, guys, for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And from all of us here on the channel, thank you so much for your support. And big special thanks to the two guys who gifted all those memberships to other members as well. Thank you so much for that. I want to thank everybody in the room. Of course, the one and the only Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, the wonderful Chris Carr, the inexplicable Ray Ora, and solid as a rock producer running this show. Actually, in today's show, saying solid as a rock is probably not a good thing to say. But anyway, our steadfast Jonathan Voico and myself, John Campea. Once again, a reminder to all you guys who are channel members, either of the director or the producer level member, at 3 p.m. Los Angeles time today. That's 2 hours and 20 minutes from now. We will be doing a town hall meeting. We've got a bunch of things to tell you guys about what's going on. You guys are going to be the first to hear about it. So make sure you guys come back and join us for that. So for everybody here, my name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.